you!
You're scared. And you should be.
This is not your company anymore.
Leave the cheek of CM Punk.
Out! Combo move! This is what they've been doing! Hey, McAfee!
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
We got a mom in the front row who taught her daughter how to suck dick!
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade JJ Williams. Hi guys. Hi guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Hangman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when what's his name did his promo Monday. He said, "I'm from a prestige university." I said he majored in Steiner, man.
We've got the Heb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things. Mutants.
Right. A lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears, because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those things where as fans we do have these desires for what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rapid whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan than with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week, because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining Chase U was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
He said that so like
They got the intro back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just think how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with all about Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name. So he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen, the first time on the Shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
Ah! All right, we're coming in hard with the botch. All right, fucking hell. It's good to be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday.
If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the Main Event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James is talking about.
So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Cool.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the weekly moderated conversation of wrestling madness that is the Saturday Shenanigans. I am once again your impromptu moderator host for the evening, the Superman Noah Foster. Thank you all for tuning in so much. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. You want to dictate the conversation, super chat. It's as simple as that. City Butterberry, good to see you. She does deserve the title, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to be on my best behavior tonight. Probably not probably. Sorry, not sorry. Egg, it's a fit. Appreciate you all, as always. Without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the cast. First and foremost, and so far only, it is the most reliable man, not named me, of the studios, and not named regular wrestling JJ Williams, who's enjoying GCW Live. It is, of course, Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz. Walter, how are you?
I'm doing well after that showcase by AEW there tonight.
Both.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the best wrestle.
Pay-per-view quality on regular TV, folks.
I'm starting to buy more into that moniker. The more and more I see pay-per-view level television and these hungry roster demonstrating what the fuck they're supposed to be. But I digress. Anyway, thank you for that. Again, other guests are supposed to join us. We course it out to the regular panelists, and Charles Schultz, he's also been invited. So stay tuned, folks, as others might join us. And of course, you all can lend your thoughts to the conversation as well. We got a nice supply today with T and shit, AEW and WWE wah. So it should be a nice, simple show. But without further ado, folks, let's get right into it. So, again, first and foremost, Saturday Shenanigans, we're going to talk about this week in wrestling, or should I say this weekend. As, of course, we kick things off this weekend covering TNA No Surrender. Of course, me and Walter were on the call just last night. Thank you all for tuning in so much. Some good kickoff stuff with Sinner and Saint in a good tag team match. And then Kazarian had to run his mouth because Lord knows we need that with airtime. Got an problems without Angels and he did beat them out with crossface chicken wing. And then we got actually into the show. And, of course, we started off with the Knockouts, Battle Royal. You didn't know half the people's names, but at least it stayed in-house in TNA. And the ironic thing, the most veteran TNA Knockouts was eliminated first in Rosemary, and then it all just broke down from there.
Oh, yeah. A lot of newcomers were involved, but it showcased the talent that are hungry and waiting. I'm trying to remember. I think I had Tesla for my number 2.
That's not the car.
No, Tessa Blanchard.
I'm giving you wordplay again, man.
Oh, okay. Tessa Blanchard was my number 2 pick, I think. I forgot who I picked for number 1, but damn sure wasn't who actually ended up winning as Jody Threat won. Yeah, she was the furthest on my mind. I shit you not. Like,
right? Yeah, the freaking Wild Child. And speaking of Wild Child, our own Wild Child from Canada, because she's yours, she's mine, she's our Canadian friend, Ash, has rejoined us for the Shenanigans. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
All right. I mean, hell, I just covered AEW, so I'm always in the gooman after that. And, of course, we are talking about TNA. So right now, we're just recapping that. You can lend your thoughts. And speaking of lending thoughts, above manhole ground is, of course, Charles Schultz, Avatar Man himself, which completes the TMT squad. I guess that makes you April. Charles, how are you?
Wow, Noah. You just had to say that, didn't you? And I'm not saying about that towards Ash. I'm mostly saying about towards me.
I'm the Segway King, it seems to be. But it is what it is. We get back to TNA Wrestling. But yeah, the Knockouts Battle Royal. Rosemary eliminated first. Jada Stone was eliminated. Tasha Steelz wiped her out on the outside. Mara Sade got a little bit showboaty. She got eliminated. Harley Hudson, Mila Graves, they got eliminated inadvertently because they took their eyes off the prize. Mila Moore and Victoria Crawford, they were freaking working together for the most bit, but they got duo eliminated by Jody Fret, who saved herself by her feet holding on the bottom rope, and it came down to Tessa, Elena Black, Jody Fret, unaware of the people, by the way, and Mara Sade, as Tessa was the last one, or so she thought, before Jody Fred came up behind, eliminating her, and Jody Fred won. The wild child from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, former bouncer from the Belgian Complex, is now the next challenger for the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
The name of the game is both feet must touch the floor. Jody Thread got knocked out with her feet still underneath the rope. She was hooked.
Brilliant.
She fell head first. And Tessa got caught up in the action and forgot. Didn't pay attention. Sort of what Santino did with Alberto Del Rio in 2011's Royal Rumble, man. Alberto completely forgot about Santino. And he almost surprised and won the thing.
Yeah, well, apparently that was not to be the case. And again, Elena Black, she was one of my picks, and she came very close at one point. But unfortunately, Elena Black grabbed Mara Sade's hair, but was eventually eliminated by Mara Sade, who was eventually eliminated by Tessa Blanchard, and the rest writes itself.
Sade, that's who my other pick was.
Yeah, and again, Elena Black and Mara Sade, they were fighting like cats on a freaking cat fight on the floor during that final stint. They probably still are, for all we know. Anyway, congratulations to Jody Fred, which, ironically enough, was the farthest pick from my mind. But considering Danny Luna has a guaranteed shot at the TNA Knockouts Championship, there might be more than meets the eye when it comes to that winner.
Ain't that a hell of a quinkydink?
Right, I'm just saying, you know. As we go backstage, Mike Santana and Leon Slater with the lovely Mean Gene Miller, and they were hyping up the main event, but it was also announced throughout the night that either Leon Slater or Nick Nemeth or Eddie Edwards called their shot because they all have a chance to jump to the World Championship. The main event tag would have been thrown out. The other ones would be banned from ringside, and it would have become a singles match for the TNA World Championship. That was kind of the long story of the night to keep in the back of people's minds as we kept going. Westside Gun, Jolly Roll, and Teddy Swims were also in the building. Why Teddy Swims accompanied Trey Miguel, I don't know. But anyway, we go into the main card. Stacks coming in as TNA International. It's all right. I don't. Like I said, you know what? Like I said, we're just gonna keep it going forward here as always. And City by the Bay, appreciate you always as well. You good soul, you good man. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Walter, the opening match was Stats versus Trey Miguel for the TNA International Championship. Now, again, my boy from the 419, of course, his own Rascal now. A whole new beginning for Trey Miguel to figure out where he belongs in TNA or in wrestling for that matter. Won the chance via the Feast or Fired. And as we expected, Stacks used Arianna Grace to his advantage multiple times, but that Jezebel got thrown out, and Stacks basically collapsed under the pressure on numerous occasions, at one point almost botching his own top rope maneuver. After creating some space with the sliding delay, impromptu implant DDT on the floor, I freaking love that shit. And then
that was the start of the downfall when she got kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. As it should have been, damn it. After Stacks, though, taking a kick on Miguel, who was caught between the ropes. A lot of kicks to the side of the head by Stacks here, trying to get the better of Trey. But then Trey brought him back in with a combo drop kick and lightning spiral. And Trey Miguel is the brand new TNA International Champion, which was a pleasant surprise for me, but a hopeful one for me in predictions also. Yay. For my boy from the 419 who's been betrayed by, I don't know, some people in this industry based on freedom of speech on the internet, if I'm being perfectly honest. Not that I'm getting into that shit as I am non-political. But I'm very happy for Trey, who came back home to TNA, holds single goal for the first time since 2022, when he was X Division champion. A very pleasurable result. What did you say, Walt?
Very pleasurable results. I'm going to be honest again, I did not expect that shit. But for Trey to come out single, to deal with what he dealt with, some things happen for a reason. Blessings in disguise. The rest of his boys are all elite. He was able to return home and come home with a prize. Like, it's unbelievable. This is only the third man to hold this title, as there's been, well, Macklin won it twice, which is why there's only 3 people that have this title. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see who Trey Miguel defends it against. If his tag team history is any indication, he will be a fighting champion.
Bar none. I don't expect him to be heelers like he was last time was the X Division Championship when he spray painted it green in its own logo. Not necessarily sure if I agree with that, degrading the title that has defined TNA wrestling since inception, but a whole different story. Anyway, congrats to the Trey, and screw you, stats. Go back to NXT development. That being said, TNA injury report. Can you tell how much I don't give a fuck all about this NXT? Anyway, TNA injury report provided by Bioflex. Eddie ever received a broken nose, but apparently was cleared for action. Mike Santana suffered back issues after being assaulted, but he was cleared. Jeff Hardy, dropped in his head by Bear Bronson, was able to compete. And Jada Stone, of course, being attacked by the Order 4 earlier. Tasha Steele spit out of her boots, by the way. Damn. As far as we know, she's under evaluation. As we move on from there, Flop Dollar wasted our time and wasted airspace. But we got the match of the ages, literally, with Action Mac Jackson taking on Vance Warner. Yeah, that was a thing.
Biggest age gap I've ever witnessed.
For those that don't know, Mike Jackson wrestles at 72 years old. He's been wrestling now for 52 years. So there you go.
He was damn near older than the venue they were at.
I didn't ask Alexa how old the Pinnacle is, so I don't know. That being said, it was simple. I mean, Jackson, he walked all four sides of the ring, went old school ×4, and then there was a punch to the face.
He went ancient school.
I'm trying to recap this super freak match. Jackson hit a net breaker for a near fall and then tried to hit a crossbody, but Warner avoided it and then connected with the pay window to secure the pinfall. And ironically enough, when this match was brought out of circumstances in regards to respecting a woman after freaking Vance Warner came in, kind of like insulted Gia Miller and Mike Jackson for that matter. Vance Warner commended, I guess, Mike Jackson for his efforts and stepping up and paid respects to him. And so did Steph DeLander with a handshake. I was expecting both of them to drop him like a bad habit. Much to Flop Dollar's chagrin, who can't run his mouth while his freaking verbal speech can't, catch checks out his ass. But he basically kind of insulted Steph DeLander and Vance Warner. It sounds like we're setting up a match with them. Black. As we go backstage, Arianna Grace is apoplectic that her future fiance, Stax, that's a marriage waiting to happen in divorce court, lost the International Championship, demands she apologize to her if anything else goes wrong, would have broke up with him. Is it really a bad thing to be alone on Valentine's Day? Exhibit A, just saying. Nope. That being said, moving on. Don't give a fuck about that. Going on from there.
Tranquilo.
Fine, I'm fine. Going on from there, we have the Elegance brand defending the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. I got a migraine already.
It was actually a good match.
And they were tripping over each other's shoes on the Elegance side of things. I'm not just talking about the two in the ring. That being said, against Xia Brookside, Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell, way too much show, but they're going. And by Elegance was the most effective prior of all four of these women, even if she almost tripped over her own shoes at one point. And by Elegance and headed by Elegance controlled the match for the most part, isolating Xia Brookside, thanks to that Chippendale reject, and the T-Woo Pee Wee Herman also caused a distraction and Ash's jaw jacking. That yipping chihuahua is back on my screen. Yay. Following that, Brookside got a hot tag, rolled up M for a 2 count, and was able to counter a boot to the face, though. That reach of Maggie Lee, though, was very impressive, I gotta say. After Maggie stopped Brookside's midsection, kept control most of this match. Following ways down the line, Ash was trying to get her team back in play. And by Elegance connected with a drive-by kick. And again, it was most Elegance for the most duration of this match. Tag was finally made to Hartwell, though, after a meeting of the minds. And M, of course, hit her own partner inadvertently. There was a bulldog and then combo with an elbow drop from the top for a near fall. Heather broke up a pin attempt, though, but it sent to the last possible second. I was actually holding out for a miracle this freaking month, but I was wrong. After Indy Hartwell hit a spine buster, M and Heather were able to hit the nip and tuck. That's their combination finisher, by the way, to score a pinfall after freaking Ash pulled Indy's foot off the bottom rope outside the ref's vision. Again, there's no damn good referee in this freaking business. As the Elegance brand head onto the towers, they wanted to add insult to injury after Mickey James' hardcore country outfitting in Nashville, Tennessee. Just saying.
Hardcore country.
Aaron Down took the spotlight and finally gave me something elegant for the first time the whole damn fucking night. and freaking sent Ash running, almost dropped her on her head with the Mick DT before the Elegance brand saved her ass. Now, whether Mickey James is here for a one-off or trying to actually neutralize the numbers, your guess is as good as mine.
I think it's going to be a 6-woman tag or something.
Yeah, I'm about to say, the jury is out, but I mean, hey, Lord knows TNA needs all the star power they can get in this new era, quote unquote. Am I wrong? That being
Not
said,
at all.
yeah. Well, speaking of TNA tenures and veterans and stars in the future versus the past, BDE then took on Eric Young. For those that don't know, BDE stands for Brandon Does Everything. Bright young up-and-coming independent scene that, of course, was signed to TNA Wrestling last year at Bound for Glory. Took on Eric Young after Eric Young wanted him to join him in the cleansing to come in TNA Wrestling. I don't know what the cleansing is, don't ask me. That being said, when BDE said no, Eric Young dropped him on his head with a pile driver. And that led to the match the following day at No Surrender. Strong back and forth here. BDE trying to overcome Eric Young's momentum in the early going for the hot assault before the bell rang. After BDE hit a buttbuster, for a 2 count, tried to set up for the hat trick, but Eric Young countered in a power bomb. And the story here was BDE's head and neck. BDE continued to move forward, though, connecting punches, but all it took was one punch from Young to connect for BDE to get dropped like a bad habit. After Eric Young hit a net breaker, BDE landed a reverse DDT, trying to continue forward, but Young countered with a power slam. Even the top rope elbow drop wasn't enough to put BDE down. After we got a clip cutter, of course, that's one of BDE's finishers. I thought he had him there, but not quite. Both men survived each other's best, except for one thing. After Eric Young took a bite out of BDE and then went for the pile driver for the first time, BDE avoided it. And then the onslaught continued until he was able to hit a damn DDT. As BDE kept hitting him back and forth, fire with fire, both these members dropped each other on their heads. It allowed him to hit a Canadian Destroyer on an original member of Team Canada for the closest near fall BDE had on the former TNA World Champion. In the end, though, Young was able to find a way to drop BDE in position for a pile driver. That's all she wrote. Eric Young beat BDE the night at No Surrender.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match, but maybe the cleansing is a laxative after the bullshit they gave us in the next match. But that's probably what the cleansing is.
You're probably not wrong.
But I want to see where the story goes because they keep talking about this cleansing, but they're not like really showing it. Like Eric Young talked about it. Then last year there was a thing with Santino trying to do an investigation on Frankie Kazarian and whether he was involved in the NXT, and that just kind of disappeared. Like, am I wrong? Like, I know I missed a couple of episodes, but are we like not supposed to remember that happened? Was it like a
Jedi mind trick, or once again the wrestling industry insulting the intelligence of the fans? You tell me. But yeah, it did happen at one point because he gave him a paper saying the cleanse is coming. Whether or not he still has that flyer, I have no idea. I think that flyer even had a QR code on it, and I don't think nobody scanned it. So is it the purge? Like people are going to mask up and freaking, slash and hack people at this point? Or what the hell are we doing here?
He has a tendency of somehow getting a cult following and getting groups. We've seen him lead some groups, so we don't know what's coming down the pipe.
Fair point. We do know what's coming down the pipe for the knockouts, though, for Jody Fret. After Jody Fret was insulted by Tessa Blanchard, saying if this was a one-on-one, you would not have a snowball's chance in hell of beating me. Well, we proved that. So it was made official. It will be Jody Fret versus Tessa Blanchard. The number one contendership is not on the line, but it is a first-time ever one-on-one matchup. This coming Thursday night on TNA Impact, which then moves us into the TNA Knockouts World Championship match. Match started off fast and quick. Laylan Lee trying to kick off Arianna Grace's head, connected with a drop kick. The only time Arianna Grace had a snowball's chance in hell was Danny Luna is back from visa issues, who has a guaranteed shot at TNA Knockouts World title, might I add, and it's already incapacitated Laylan Lee with a sleeper hold. Laylan Lee hasn't forgotten. It did allow Arianna Grace to get advantage, focusing on her neck for the duration of this match, with a net breaker that drove Laylan Lee down face first in the middle of the ring. As all hell broke loose with Danny Luna dropping security, and Laylan Lee went face first into the ring post, and then we got some suplexes. Laylan Lee was able to connect with a combination net breaker backslide for a pinfall attempt. Grace was able, though, to get Laylan Lee with a corkscrew uppercut. Layla Lee, though, was able to create some space between her and Arianna Grace with hammer fist to the head. Didn't hammer her head down hard enough, though. And Layla Lee was in control for most of this match. Dropping her from the top rope with a superplex, and both these women were worse for wear at this point. After hoisting up on the shoulders from Warrior's Way, Grace was able to get the fingers in the eye outside the red's vision, thanks to Stack's distraction, and Layla Lee was laid out on the outside after wiping out Stack's, the most annoying thing not named Ryan Nemeth. As Layla Lee tried to get back inside the ring, though, stolen from her father, Arianna Grace hits Layla Lee with the Cobra, followed by a facebuster straight to the knee, and TNA might as well be owned by WWE. Arianna Grace, the new TNA Knockouts World Champion.
TNXT. I don't know. Hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel, but the less said about this shit, the better. Seriously, I don't know where this is going. Maybe it's going into the direction of Santino getting overthrown because of the stupid decisions he's been making, which is why we have another managerial character on screen now. So maybe there's some silver lining in the cloud, but even my booking and fantasy and the stuff that JJ that I do, I can't wrap my head around the decision and what exactly they did. I know he predicted it, and I'm shocked that they pulled the trigger, but we'll have to see. I don't think it'll be a long reign, and so your blood pressure will be fine, Noah, but we'll see.
I can say things right now that would get me thrown off YouTube that would chastise the opposite gender and what this competitor represents some mockery to this business and what this title has become. But I'm going to do my best because I appreciate Ash and I'm trying to find good in wrestling, and AEW might have saved my spirit tonight. But you are very, very fucking close to me saying not only fuck NXT, but fuck TNA wrestling for life.
Jesus. Well, it is the knockout division, so I'll be interested in what Ash has to say about it.
All right, we'll get our thoughts at the end. Moving on, you and JJ, as I was trying to avoid, killing somebody. Basically, you all covered an 8-person tag with the Hardys and the Righteous versus the Order 4. Go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, this was awkward. It started before the bell with all 4 men, or 8 men, I should say, attacking one another. The restoration they could not restore anything. Then the refs finally put some order. Then Order 4 put some order in there. I didn't do that pun on purpose. I didn't actually do that one on purpose. But
sure you did.
But we had good teaming in and out, frequent tags by the Hardys and the Righteous. At first, they weren't tagging each other; they were just tagging their own partners. But then Vincent and Dutch actually started working together. They ended up on the outside where Vincent was doing these weird tributes to Hardy, where he would do he threw off the stage area. He threw I think it was one of the good hands. It wasn't Agent Zero. He was still in the ring.
That would have shot me right there. They get the better of it thrown off the stage.
They threw the good hands over there. The Hardys did it, and then Vincent, like in Jeff Hardy fashion, dove off of that stage onto him. So it was like a tribute to them. Then Dutch and Matt were in the ring. They had the 2 from the good hand, the great hands, whatever their names are.
John Skyler, Jason Hotch.
They did synchronized twist of fates to both, while Vincent and Jeff climbed the other ropes and did or synchronized swanton bombs, and they ended up getting the cover. But it was they did it together. And they actually worked together. For some reason, I really, really thought the Righteous were going to turn on the Hardys.
Same.
But the story was what happened after the match, after the bell rings. Agent Zero turns the hands. They start beating everybody up. They start clearing the ring. Mustafa starts doing his thing, goes to climb the rope to try to hit Jeff Hardy when all of a sudden we started walking with Elijah. The lights go out. Then we see a guitar-shaped casket get rolled on stage. Ali goes to attack Elijah, only it's not Elijah. It's some kind of stunt double that he was beating up. So while his back was turned, the casket opens up. Elijah was in the actual casket, grabs Ali, pulls him in the casket, went to go close it, but Ali shot like a bat out of hell back out of that casket. He was not staying in there. So then we went off with like Elijah's music playing, but we got a little tease of what's coming up in that guitar casket match. Which
guitar casket match,
dude, that casket actually looks pretty cool. Like, I can't lie, it's in the shape of a guitar, and it's a pretty cool. I'm surprised Jeff Jarrett never fought Undertaker in a casket match and did that with a guitar. Like, it's like a cool concept.
It's a casket of a different shape, but okay, considering both men have bashed or chatted with guitars or tried to bash each other with guitars, and the only one been bashed with guitars, freaking Elijah. Fair enough. So basically, Order 4 won this because there was some sort of miscommunication, I heard.
Yeah. Order 4, they won because of that distraction. But yeah, I predicted that Order 4 was gonna win.
Well, damn it. I mean, I'm about to say, Natasha Steeles, it's never 4, it's always 5. Blinding Dutch with powder, and Dutch freaking hitting the death walk.
That's what it was, the powder. Yeah.
That's his black hole slam, in case y'all wondering, folks. Rolling Buck 50, and Mustafa Ali, of course, his 450, was able to get the pin, as I just look at TNA's clip notes here for that match. All right, fair enough. And then following that, Santino Marella, I'm sure he was pounding not as a father, but as a director of 40, was wanting a conversation with the new TNA Knockouts World Champion, but Daria Ray wasn't going to let that happen, even threatening Santino, who was threatening her with the Cobra, saying, I'm a former MMA fighter, and I will break that Cobra's neck. Honestly, Daria, you might need to. Somebody here definitely needs to be removed from position. And I don't think it's just a champion, although that should be first. I guess we'll see what happens here in this power struggle. All right, and then that leads us to our main event, which was probably the only worthwhile thing that whole damn night, as Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards, with a somewhat fractured nose, go after Mike Santana, the TNA World Champion, in conjunction with Leon Slater, the X Division Championship. What didn't happen here would probably be the better question. Daggum.
Yo, these four went at it, and no one got the chance to call anything.
Because Steve Macklin, who's fired, took my sense out of the equation. They're both probably fighting on Nashville as we speak.
Second time this dude has come out of nowhere and attacked. Like, how do you keep getting into the arena? You're fired, dude. You picked the wrong case.
I got nothing. All I know is before that other madness, literally it was a combination that I thought that Santana and Slater have won. But much to your point, freaking synchronized crossover standing moonsault didn't get the job done, and Macklin, outside of everybody's vision, pulled freaking Santana out of the ring. They were fighting the bill, became a handicap affair for quite a while. Leon Slater fighting off the word, including the system, by the way, that got involved. Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, and Cedric Alexander on behalf of Eddie Edwards here, who at one point was eyeing everything on the table, the championships, that briefcase, and that trophy. Of course, Nick Neville for the Call Your Shot gauntlet. As the system was on overload, Moose came out to dismantle it, and then it became one-on-one as they were going after Eddie Edwards for the sake of Eddie Edwards' life, as Moose looks to kill that guy, and I don't blame him. So
Moose
eventually it broke down. Go ahead. Yeah,
Moose is literally the anti-system all alone.
The system of a down. How about down goes the system, or down up the system? Anyway, as the first of the franchise fended Eddie Edwards off in the system in hot pursuit, it came down to Leon Slater and Nick Nemeth. At one point, though, Nemeth goes for a pinfall attempt, and Slater kicks out at 2, and then it hits a famouser, high famouser, by the way, but Slater, definition of no surrender, continued fighting forward. After he countered a heel kick on the Nemeth with his own super kick, as Nemeth was looking to tune up the band in Music City, a Swanton 450 allowed Leon Slater to somehow survive this utter madness and pin a former TNA World Champion. So keep that in mind, considering he has the X Division Championship, which does allow option C.
They took the hell out of that by allowing him to get the pin alone. He literally was abandoned at this point. It's not Santana's fault because it was Macklin, but he literally had to do it all alone until Moose offered us some help. But He did it alone, pinning a former world champion. It just teases that option C. Although I love Leon as the X Division champion, I want to see him continuously defend that. I want to see somebody win that title because they deserve it, not off some vacancy. However, it's been done before. Frankie Kazarian did the option C. That was the last time. Moose refused to do it because he wanted to elevate the title, and I feel like he did a damn good job of doing it. That's why Leon is the champion he is. But it's going to be very interesting as 3 people can still call their shot regardless. So, Matt Santana, you wanted the target on the back. You wanted the company on your shoulders. You got it, bro. Look over your shoulders. Always have I hate this figure of speech that they use, but it really is true. You have to have your head on the swivel when you're the champ.
Well, when you're the champion, you're always the target. You're no longer being the hunter. You're being the hunted. And he literally was with 3 oppositions towards his championship. If it wasn't for Steve Maclin, I still think we very well could have got a tease after this match for a call your shot on the opposite side in loss or defeat. When Maclin and Moose showed up, you pretty much knew from there you weren't getting anything else besides this. But Leon Slater surviving, pinning a former TNA World Champion, shows Leon Slater could become the youngest ever TNA World Champion. It's not something that's too far-fetched.
Can you imagine if all 3 call their shot at the same time? We end up with a fatal 4-way match?
I don't know if that wanted to work. I said TNA champ. I didn't say world champ. I say that has potential. He's got a young, bright future ahead of him. Well, not because he's getting power driven on his head. But you don't thrust yourself into the TNA World Championship picture or any championship
He needs to win the international or something first.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I say PD's got more credit to his nature to go after a championship than the freaking new TNA Knockouts World Champion ever will and ever did. But that being said, that was TNA No Surrender. As Ash takes a bathroom break was what most of the show was. Let's go ahead and get the house Schultz.
You're not wrong, though.
Glorified house show, WWE, freaking influencing virus on the alternative attorney with similarity. Charles, go ahead and talk about your thoughts on TNA No Surrender based on our recap. And Arianna Grace holding the cornerstone of the Knockouts that's becoming more and more and more degrading by the day.
Well, and to Walter, you say, JJ, it wasn't just him that would call that. It was me. It's the second person that called it. That's number 1. And I'll admit now, I thought they were not even going to do it. I only pulled the Mando card just to see how Noah reacted, and basically that was it, and basically it would not happen, and basically we'll just move on. But nope, that happened. Which also feels weird now. It's like, okay, who's taking this title off her now? Because you got so many other possibilities now. But also, as far as that, the other thing I was talking about was that Order 4 match. That damn Qatar casket was the coolest shit I ever seen in my life.
Good grief almighty.
And no, it's not because I'm a freaking Elijah Mark before somebody says it in here. I'm looking at Noah.
I'm not calling anybody a Mark. I'm not that cheap, unlike some people on the internet or most people in the internet wrestling community. Continue.
So that was cool. But I'm just waiting for the freaking Righteous to turn already on the Hardy so we get the Broken Hardys and the Hardy Compound match already. I'm just waiting for it.
Seems too obvious.
Okay. Right. But look, outside of that, it's basically, and also, as far as the this freaking Eric Young group thing, I'm still leaning towards what probably going to be NXT's freaking Dark Stay at this point.
Oh, God.
It would not surprise me. Which would be kind of weird. It would be kind of weird. It could be kind of weird going, so you're going to NXT's Dark State, knowing very well you have a problem with the NXT showing up at TNA in general. The kind of hypocrisy one-on-one. But that's like the only issue. But yeah, well, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, fair enough. All I know is if Dark State invades TNA, I quit. All right. That being said, Ash, go ahead and lend your thoughts based on our recap, based on the TNA Knockouts World Championship situation. Why the fuck they didn't keep it in-house, considering Danny Luna and Joey Fett legitimately are in the running for it, have the history at Layling Lee, are in TNA. Let me say that again. In TNA. And the situation and the outcomes of No Surrender based on our brief recap. Go ahead.
So the Righteous match sounds like it'd be pretty good. The Association with the international title match, the Knockouts Contenders match, that sounds like it's good. And the main event and the implications it has storyline-wise, that was like pretty good. And as for like the Knockouts title, it's funny how when you guys I was listening into the predictions, if it goes down the way you guys said in that predictions, yeah, because I've been mentioned there's going to be a power struggle, and depending on how they go about it, it could go well. It's really up in the air at this point, and the only way we can tell is by watching NXT and Impact.
Fuck NXT, and I'm very close to saying fuck TNA. It becomes a WWE similarity. There is no good light shine you could give me to this, degrading the corners of the TNA Knockouts, turning the hot potato, where it's now gone to 3 fucking people in NXT in less than a damn calendar year, and this floozy with nothing to back up any crap, why she deserves to hold on to this, is now holding on to this title. This is the biggest embarrassment to the TNA Knockouts World Championship since I can remember.
Dude, in the last 6 months, more women from NXT have held the TNA Knockouts title than Knockout title.
And they have internal story in TNA with Jody Fett, with Danny Luna, and Layling Lee, and you still fucking give it to bullshit NXT.
Now you guys know how I feel when AEW people win New Japan titles.
At least there's some effort behind it, and there's an actual purpose to the finish of it. Argue that, Ash, and get back with me. What the fuck has NXT done for TNA versus what NXT has taken from TNA?
I'm just gonna say this: my issue with the AEW people winning the New Japan titles is that they're not there on the shows. Whereas, at least with the NXT and TNA people, they are on the show, so it feels like they're integrated. And I understand it's kind of hard too with the AEW New Japan, but the conflicting schedules, but that's the only gripe I have about it.
Yeah, you have a visual gripe. I have a professional in-ring worthwhile gripe. NXT is not TNA, and TNA is slowly becoming NXT WWE variation, not the black and gold that was at the peak of professional wrestling for AEW existed. Fuck everything right now related to NXT and TNA until I see something different.
Yeah, it's really sad what TNA's become, because it's throughout the years they've had an identity, and then they lost it, and then they had it, and then they lost it. It's just the multiple cycles TNA has gone through is just very alarming and
now they're
quite concerning.
And now they're losing their image as we know it once and for all, with WWE influence invading it.
Although
I'm just waiting for the word acquisition. That's all I'm waiting for.
Although you can make the argument that TNA has always been WWE light since the 2010s, but even then, they still had somewhat of an identity. Whereas now, with how small the roster is, they don't really have much of an identity, so they have to rely heavily on the NXT people, which says a lot about management and how they can't lock down people in the contracts.
This is why you need to make new stars and stop relying on the legends of the business. This is what happened. Mickey James had to, go away. Awesome Kong. All these people started retiring, and they really didn't build any of the newer knockouts. And then when they did, they let their contract end and they went elsewhere. They ended up all elite, or they did go to WWE. So you kind of depleted their own roster, and it started with, you shouldn't have let Scott D'Amore go. Like that's where it all really started going downhill. The snowball fell down the hill, and then it just started getting bigger and bigger. Your roster is pretty much. How many times have we seen the Elegance defend the title against the same people, like over and over and
the
over
only tag
and
team
over?
they got. The only legitimate tag team they got.
Seriously, like you need to do some scouting, man. Go to Australia, because now you just lost another person to AEW. You should have went to different countries to do some scouting.
Personification of power, performance, and of course, an Australian independent standout, which we'll talk more about here in a little bit.
Watch PWA. Watch PWA. It's on YouTube.
Very good.
You better call Stardom and start trying to steal some real true talent.
You know damn well they ain't going to touch Stardom under the Bushiroad partnership with freaking AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not to mention, they already got their freaking dicks deep in Rosie Ogawa's promotion, Marigold, where they do the 1-year showcase with Io Sky and Mayu Iwatani. They're just waiting to get Mayu Iwatani at this point.
They also have Prestige people that they can call up because Prestige is closing its doors sadly pretty soon.
Yeah, that's sad.
And Charles, I saw your hand up before we go to you.
Our conversation, but yes,
ding.
Charles. But all right,
$2 super chat.
Problem is AEW to the majority of time. Well, when you consider that we almost had a monopoly, considering only one company exists, and since 2019, at least there's another choice, as MJF said eloquently on the Chris Van Lee podcast. You desensitize yourself to one company of 3 letters, and you see what can't happen in the business, where AEW has already surpassed expectations, where people thought they weren't going to last even as long as WCW, and the roster might be more involved than ever.
The word you're looking for is oligopoly, not monopoly.
Might as well be the same thing when it comes to WWE at this point, who's got more money out of their ass that they can't freaking cash checks for now in the public today that ain't even buying in WrestleMania. And stay tuned more, folks, when we talk more about that. Anyway.
Not to play the semantic pedantic game, but your point still stands.
I know. Thank you for that.
All right, go ahead, Charles.
Charles, go ahead. Regarding anything we just talked about.
Well, one, I was gonna forgot to bring this up. It's like, so I guess Steve Maclin must have secretly re-signed then if he keeps showing up not once but twice.
I have no fucking idea what's going on at this point.
Which is very weird, because it's like he's not pulling. I think he's only the first person out of the Feast or Fire thing to actually keep showing up after getting fired without being repackaged as somebody else.
Yeah.
Case in point, Christopher Daniels got fired. We're back as somebody else, but he didn't. It took a little bit longer to come back as Daniels at least, but it still stands. It's like he's got to secretly sign it. Also, because you brought the whole Knockouts title thing. Why is it that it only happened once with the world title, the men's world title, where Trick won the title, and then literally no NXT person has won that belt since Trick? But yet they're more heavily doing it from the women's side.
Because they don't have the roster. They don't have it. And I mean, in terms of Steve Maclin, I don't understand. Like the last time you did Feast of Fire, you literally broke up Joya. So you telling me he could have came back and ignored the fact that you got fired, but you let him go back to Japan? You broke up one of the hottest acts that Noah used to love doing that song, him and I. And now Steve Maclin picks the case that gets him fired, but he still gets to show up 2 weeks in a row? Or two nights in a row?
It's like you could have repackaged it. Like if you repackage Steve Maclin as somebody that's like, okay, that's fine because it's happened before. But like I said, the best example, Christopher Daniels. That's like the best example if it happened before. That's understandable.
Yeah, and they don't need Maclin and TNA right now in the TNA World Championship picture because we literally just saw 3 targets to that title inside TNA in that main event match.
Which is also another point. Sorry to cut you off, Walter.
Maybe Maclin is the cleanse that Eric Young is looking for. Maybe the story ties up now. Maybe it's Eric Young pulling the strings, or the NXT tie-up that Macklin's working for NXT in a TNA thing since they let him get fired, and he's so pissed at TNA. And because there's still a crossover, he's technically still alive. I mean,
he's also a former militant, and he knows how to literally insurrect and infiltrate. And we've also seen people in the military betray their home country. Benedict Arnold, anyone? We've seen it in politics all the time. Who's to say that Steve Macklin, to your point, doesn't jump ship now and go to fucking NXT, ran by Robert Stone of all people, and bring Dark State in to take over the house that let him go? Let's not forget, Steve Macklin fired the first militia before Mike Santana towards NXT invading and taking their championships.
Which is the point. Which I questioned, like, him, that first time him, being written off false claim permit is like, oh, backstage saying goodbye. And then him attacking Mike Santana for wrestling over was like, what did Mike Santana do? He wasn't the reason you freaking got fired. Like, why are you attacking him for?
I was
light bulb
selfless.
just went
I was
off.
too selfless.
I think I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to show that Santino's incompetent, letting a star like Steve Macklin get fired like that, and it's gonna be that Daria rehired him or whatever she's going by now.
Daria Ray.
Yeah, Daria Ray rehired him to bring him in because I would not let a talent of this caliber go. It shows you're incompetent. This is gonna all turn into like some kind of incompetent story of Santino. He can't run the show. He's doing favoritism. He's giving his own daughter title shots and getting the title. That's probably why they gave her the title as well. It's going to lead to Santino getting fired or pushed out of position, and Dario actually runs the show. That's what, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that might be where they're going.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's still an inside job on a single person's agenda versus the well-being of an independent roster's outlook. Daria Ray, I agree with some of her stuff. I agree with Santino Morella's values of what he's been as director of 40 prior to TNA being owned on AMC by this Carlos Silva guy and fucking turned to a WT move farm. But the bottom line right now, Daria and Santino, two different mindsets, both of which are not good right now under this new era of TNA by any benefit.
Daria could be then take over, run TNA, and Santino can shift over because remember, this dude in NXT, they purposely said interim. Santino could then switch and become the GM of NXT, and Daria runs TNA. It could be all, that's what it's going to all lead to. We just got to be patient.
Walter.
I'm about to say, go ahead, Charles, real quick.
All right, now I know how JJ feels because you were in my damn brain. I was literally gonna say all that. It's like the timing and like, well, you get rid of Santino, power of TNA. Look, consider Robert Stone with interim, and they keep bluntly saying interim, which I was right about because for the short term, might as well do Robert Stone until you find somebody permanent. But But it's like
I said it. I said, Sean, you need to hire Santino to run NXT, and Santino himself liked my tweet when I said that. So
it's like, there you go. It's like, there you go. Make it make sense, but also at least you take care of that issue, which also be funny if Robert Stone working for Santino. I have to kick his ass before, which will be funny, just for hilarious on NXT.
It might be worth a highlight for me on X, if nothing else. All right. But fair, interesting outlook. Either way, there is a change, not a cleanse, but there is a dark change coming forward in TNA, and I don't think no one's going to be better off from it. That's been TNA faithful to what TNA truly has been to those fans, calling it the alternative, where it becomes more and more of a similarity every day. That no surrender house show card couldn't be more proof of that. Ash, you have anything further you want to add regarding the outlook of the knockouts or authority or anything you've heard most momentarily, or the TNA World Championship for that matter? Do you think you know who the next challenge is going to be, and is it going to be Steve Macklin under Daria Ray's ownership?
I'm gonna have to tune in to Impact to find that out because yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do on TNA because I wrote down like some matches from last month and I have yet to check out, so I'm gonna be like binge watching like TNA soon.
Fair enough. Well, again, priorities are passions. Find the time. Don't burn yourself out. Charles, what do you want to say real quick?
Ash, I'm just going to say this as nicely as possible. Your damn match watch list is going to be longer than the list of Jericho and the 1,000 holds.
That's probably accurate.
It's where I swear I'm saying it as nicely as possible. It's going to get big by the end of this year. Bigger than both of the list.
Well, either way, in summary, for TNA No Surrender, don't surrender your time to watch the show as a whole. There was a couple of good moments, and then there was the main event. And I don't know, honestly, right now, if TNA even knows what the knockouts are anymore, considering that Battle Royale was the bomb of the barrel newcomers and Rosemary got eliminated first. There's a lot of inexperience that has not been cultivated for TNA yet to build in-house to the point they're using NXT based on recognition, and it's fucking killing the brand from inside.
That battle royal really showed how thin the roster is. Like, it's a damn shame because I really feel like for a decade plus, TNA had the best women's division on this side of the ocean. Like, seriously, aside from New Japan or Stardom and the organizations like that, TNA was where it's at. They had the knockouts running shit, and it's really become really thin.
Yep, and they still have Knockouts Tag Team Championships for the only team they have left.
There's basically anybody.
Just saying. Oh, fuck me and fuck NXT, and this TNA is very close to the fucking category. All right, well, that being said, that was TNA No Surrender. You all can take that to the bank or honestly save your money. And that being said, when we return from this commercial break, we will try and bring a new mood forward when we talk about what happened down under in AEW, courtesy of AEW Grand Slam City, Australia, and then we'll talk about WWE's profits, or lack thereof that might be becoming, heading to WrestleMania, and so much more as the Saturday Shenanigans continue after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
And as always, here at the Simple Hour Studios, we truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, fantasy book, and react to all the wrestling. And welcome back here to Saturday Shenanigans for this fine, simple eve. I'm Noah Foster, hosting and moderating with the rest of the reliable Walter Cruz, Charles Schultz, and our Canadian friend Ash. Well, that being said, we go from a nonstop buzzkill to a nonstop wild night of professional wrestling action and introduce a newcomer. So let's go down under to Grand Slam, Australia in Sydney as AEW brought tonight AEW Grand Slam Australia. Let's go ahead and run down the card. First and foremost, Walter, why don't you go ahead and kick things off and give most of the highlights here, and then me and Ash will bounce off you. Opening match, John Moxley, Konosuke Takeshita, AEW Knockouts Championship, John Moxley, Konosuke, 3. You're muted. A botch.
Crazy ass match. We started off with these two literally on fire, chopping the shit out of each other, hard hitting right off the rope. Of course, Continental rules. Nobody can interfere. Nobody can be in the ring. You have a 20-minute time limit, which is important for the ending. And that's about it with the rules. But yeah, they hard hitting kicked out. Takeshita got hit with that DDT. Is it still Paradigm Shift?
The Death Rider. Triangle Death Rider dropped on his damn head.
Yo, the angle at which he got hit with that damn DDT was ridiculous. I don't know how he kicked out of it. I think it was pure instinct, seriously. He kicked out. The man, the chain wrestling, that John Moxley's chain wrestling is very underrated. To go from a dragon sleeper to a sleeper to an arm bar to the bulldog choke into the armbar. That's what he did. Yeah,
exactly. Well done, by the way, remembering that sequence. Very impressed.
Yeah.
Continue.
yeah. His chain wrestling is very underrated. But then Takesha, I don't know how many times he hit him with that damn knee, but he kept kicking out of the knee. Then they went to the outside. We brought back in. Then it became a damn chop fest, chest for chest, where they literally just beat the shit out of each other to the point where they woke something up in each other, where they both kicked out at one counts. And this is like 15 minutes into the damn match. They're kicking out at one, not two, not 1, 2, ooh type things. They were kicking out at one, and then they aggressively fought to the point where the bell rings because the freaking time ran out on these two. So I don't know where this leads. You got to give me the rematch. Hopefully, if it's in Sacramento, I'm taking my ass out there. But at some point, we got to get a rematch between these two because it ended up in the draw. We don't know anything.
I mean, at one point, though, you saw the way John Moxley took back-to-back exploders, still staring back up to his feet, and then Takeshita fucking killed him practically with that freaking knee strike, and we thought that was Takeshita's moment, and it still wasn't freaking enough. The only thing Takeshita didn't freaking do was the freaking Raging Fire. He did it after the fact. At one point, they headbutted each other so damn hard, he legit cracked John Moxley open, and then as soon as they heard 30 seconds remain, I guess they went to another gear that was possible, to your point. Explosive lariat out of the corner. Takeshita kicks out at one. Takeshita rolling elbow. John Moxley kicks out at one. Running knee strike. Back of Moxley's head. Kicks out right at the nick of time. Bell rings. Time of the draw. You can see the visible anger legitimately on Kenozi Takeshita versus John Moxley, who was, I think, a little bit frustrated at this point, as you thought they were going to be like, we got to run this again. You still think you're better than me? No, you're not. They go face to face, and what did the Ash saw? They came to blows. The Takeshita dropped John Moxley with the Raging Fire and emphatically flipped him off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was like a very nice, hot way to kick off the show, get the crowd pumped up, and I'm looking forward to having these two go at it because I don't think they're quite done yet, especially after what happened the post-match, because those final stretch of the match was ridiculous in such a good way because
I love that.
My God, what a hot start to the show.
Yeah,
I almost felt bad for the next match because they had to follow that because, wow, did those two go at it.
Well, again, it's not pay-per-view because the Simple Man's moniker for professional wrestling greatness, go back and watch. You want to get passionate of this business, go watch this match. I do try and stem myself on pay-per-view only because that's the biggest platform, but this felt like a pay-per-view, but legitimately, that match, that's professional wrestling, damn it. That was so fucking epic.
Yeah, I can't wait for whenever these two go at it again because it's going to be like, I'm not sure how they're going to top this match, but we shall see.
Maybe they'll get rid of the clock, much like Kenny Omega and freaking Kazuchika Okada eventually did. We got to get a winner at some point.
I did call for a 2 out of 3 falls match, so we might get that.
That's
might just no time limit. Just there must be a winner and let it be the main event of some. Maybe
something
if
like
you do it on a Dynamite, you could be the main event. Just there must be a winner, and we get to stay on as long as because you know that the TBS allows them to do that. So
very very true. I like that outlook a lot. Meanwhile, we go back to what happened Wednesday night as Thekla became the brand new AEW Women's World Champion and one hell of a fucking strap match. And those bitches lashed each other hard in the face. Scarlet Canvas painted beautifully was the story here. Triangle of Madness, though, got involved as Thekla trapped Chris Statlander in her web of toxic madness, and Thekla prevailed, but Chris Statlander says, karma isn't a bitch, it's a cosmic killer. You may have gotten everything you want, but I'm going to make you regret everything that you wanted. So Chris Statler is not done with Thekla by a long shot, and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Which led into the tag team match, right? Babes of Wrath and Mega Bad.
Yeah, Team Mega Bad versus Babes of Wrath. Take it away, Ash.
Yeah, this was a nice tag match. I'm surprised the Babes of Wrath retained because I thought Team Mega Bad was going to take it.
Well, it was good tag team cohesion on both sides, and honestly, Penelope Ford and Harley Cameron, they did the heavy lifting, despite the fact they weren't the power players. Of course, you did get your tease of what you love, big, powerful women, when Will Nightingale and Megan Bayne collided for a small duration. And I hear that cheeky smile on that sultry voice. As is in her own elements, you could tell.
I want to see that match so bad. Megan Bayne versus Willow Nightingale, especially for the TBS title. That'd be really cool to see.
Well, considering what we saw at the end, that might be not too far-fetched. As, of course, Harley Cameron came back home, second year in a row, to make them feel the wrath. And this was literally her home turf, of course, as she's from Queensland. A lot of back and forth. Here's some technical cohesion. There was a follow-up at one point into a single-leg crab reverse by Bayne, by Harley Cameron. Look at Harley Cameron here outsmarting Megan Bayne and outpowering her and outmaneuvering her. How far that she's grown. But Penelope Ford was able to break it up with a kick. Then Nightingale put forward, of course, with a ridiculous overhead shot. Immediately was taken down by Bayne as the Megasis showed her wings. Then Harley Cameron kicked Megan Bayne in the gut and hit an Australian destroyer as everyone was down. And this was very deep into the match. As all four fought back up, we had a pump kick, Russian leg sweep combo. That was really done nicely by the Babes of Wrath, by the way. Backpack senton, as I always love them to do. Megan, to the Will Nightingale and Harley Cameron. It didn't near fall, though. Of course, we had running clotheslines. Bayne was able to get the flying lariat. Again, the way she soars is just downright freaking incredible. Anyway, as Penelope Ford hit a moonsault off the top rope, it allowed Harley Cameron out of nowhere to beat freaking Penelope Ford with a backslide, driving her down, high stack, and Harley Cameron retained the titles.
But the story was after the match as...
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the personification of performance and power and an Australian stand, one of the hottest free independent rising stars and agents from Australia, Lena Cross, much to Walter's point. And Lena Cross has tag rivalry history as well as tag team history with the Megasis Megan Bayne. After Lena Cross came out of nowhere and dropped freaking Harley Cameron with a fireman's carry TKO, and then Megan Bayne speared Willow Nightingale as Penelope Ford got in between these two stat powerhouses. And I think you just got a mega bad trio in AEW.
Bro, she puts the mega bad. I was like, holy shit. I think she's even taller than Megan Bayne. Like,
she is, actually.
Yeah, like, holy shit. The fact that these three are together, this is going to be an unstoppable force. Whoever they set their eyes on, like, I'm sorry, man. Babes of Wrath, I love y'all. Y'all the team. I love Willow. You're the inaugural champion, but, I mean, at this point, you're probably just keeping the titles warm for these three.
I'm about to say, we got some trios warfare developing in this women's division. All elite women with the best wrestler. You got the Cosmic Babes of Wrath. You got the Triangle of Madness. And now you have trio mega bad with the newest addition to the AEW roster, Lena Cross.
See what happens when your females division is actually stacked?
In more ways than one. Ash, anything you want to add further to that? And by the way, look at the picture. You talk about TBS champion. Look what Penelope Ford passed off to the Megasis.
Are those the tag titles? Is that the tag titles?
As the tag title in one hand, the TBS title in the other.
Interesting to see Megan Bayne having both titles would be crazy.
I mean, that's what Willow Nightingale has currently right now, but Lena Cross just dropped her like an easy habit. All I know is I am so damn excited to see Lena Cross in an all-elite ring.
I also want to say this: Harley Cameron had a really good showing in this match. Like she was the star of the match.
As she should have been, because again, youngest athlete here, 3 years in her career, and 1 year later back home, bringing home gold. I was very happy that she got the win. And a simple fundamental move, a backslide, high stack, driving her way forward. Penelope Ford couldn't escape.
Just using all her momentum to her advantage.
Exactly. Well, moving on from there. Speaking of momentum, who's got momentum heading towards the AEW Men's World Championship since Heyman and Page and Andrade Igalo made it to the finals of this impromptu tournament of sequence, shall we call it. As we had Cowboy Shaznak down under in Australia, Heyman and Page and Andrade Igalo, they hit hard. Go ahead and talk about this match, Walter.
Yeah, they right out of the gate they hit each other with, or at least tried to hit each other with their biggest moves. As Andrade immediately after a headlock set up for the what's it called, the DM, When Hangman kicked him in the gut, right, and then he immediately set up for a buckshot, but Andre kicked him in the gut and hit Tranquilo pose into the ropes. Hangman kicked out of the ropes. I think it was a crossbody that he hit after that from the top rope, and then Andrade hit him face first into the apron, which was ridiculous. Then he started chopping the living shit out of him.
At one
And
point,
then
you heard a bullet go off in Australia.
yeah, seriously, like I think it was. I'm assuming that it was because of the gloves, but damn, those chops sounded badass. And then that's when they got out of the ring, and of course Andrade had to stop with a little photo with a fan, kissed her in the face. Hangman then did the same pose after hitting him, but respecting his marriage, he denied the kiss from her, which is, look at that, an actual gentleman. Then Hangman, what the hell did he do? He slammed Andrade, then he splashed on him, then he chopped him in the corner, placed him on the freaking turnbuckle, but of course Andrade blocked the superplex attempt before trying the, I think it was the sunset flip at that point.
Yeah, sunset flip, and then Andrade at one point got stuck with a high-impact Liger bomb for a near fall, grabbing the back of his head and neck. He might as well been the side of the ceiling.
Yep, and then Hangman went for a moonsault, but Andrade actually caught him. And then he slammed him out there on the outside. He sent Hangman then sent Andrade to the corner, connected with what the hell did he connect? The pump kick at that point. Yeah, and then both men jumped in the middle rope when Andrade connected with his own moonsault that looked freaking crazy. And then he did that moonsault.
Might I add.
Yeah, he kind of like expected Hangman to move. He did a moonsault, landed on his feet, moonsault again, which, dude, Andrade looked badass. Like, when you give somebody the opportunity to showcase where they went, what they can do, it's impressive what people can do. All they need is a chance. Then I think we went to a picture-in-picture. We went on a commercial break, I think, at that point. Then when we came back, Andrade had Hangman in a headlock. Andrade stomped in the head, slapped him around. Then we started going back and forth with the, yay boo thing for the crowd. And then Andrade tried to do that, I think it was the big boot at that point.
Yeah, and then he faked him out and cracked his face with that spinning back elbow. That might as well be lethal. Eat your heart out, Judas Effect.
Yeah, Hangman caught his feet, and then he went for that suplex, but Hangman landed on his feet, turned him inside out with that damn lariat that was freaking ridiculous. That's when I think Noah taught us the difference between a lariat and an actual clothesline.
Well, the clothesline is what you run into. The lariat comes straight fucking at you.
Yep. Then he hit another, I think it was a lariat in the corner. Damn, trying to remember this is hard. A lariat out of the corner, and then he hit that power bomb. Right? He hit the power bomb after that. But of course,
Andrade hit the straight jacket DDT for a near fall, the same move that got him the NXT champion against Drew McIntyre in the Black and Gold era. And then at this point, you said yourself, both men were in a near fall exchange when a dead eye out of desperation was played, and both men were down.
Yeah, but there was a point where they were on the freaking apron, and I called it. I was like, he's gonna try to do the dead shot. He tried it, but Andrade slipped out of it. Thank goodness, because that it would have been over. Andrade would have lost some height.
Well, I mean, it would have been the neck, not the. Never mind. That being said, at this point, at the end of the match, the referee was being distracted by everyone's favorite, Don Callis, when Andrade tried to go for the hat trick in a row of low blows. He did it to Swerve Strickland. He did it to Kenny Omega. Hangman scouted, and then my monitor went out for a split second. But then I saw Hangman in position, buckshot lariat. Hangman's on his way to Revolution.
Yep, he did hit him with the DM though, but somehow he freaking kicked out.
It was the Hammerlock DDT. He didn't hit the DM after the first attempt earlier. He tried for the DM, but then Hangman counted into that Deadeye towards the end. Again,
that's when they went into that pin attempt exchanges thing.
The Deadeye, the DM was introduced first against Swerve Strickland when they faced up for the first time ever, and that's what he used to beat Swerve in his return to AEW singles action on Dynamite. And he's used it since then to get each win. He was unable to get it on Heyman this time, and also the low blow. And pretty much that cost him. Heyman had Andrade his first singles loss.
So Hangman is the next. I guess I'm assuming. I don't think they said it, but I'm assuming it's at Revolution, his title shot.
Correct. AEW Revolution in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. So again, Ash, hell of a hard-hitting number one contenders match.
Yeah, this was a fine match. I love how motivated Andrade is right now, because we talk about like when you hear like certain wrestlers, sometimes they just need a change of environment, and that was the case for Andrade. This run seems to be going a lot better than his first run. So hope his momentum continues.
I mean, he's been a champion already in Germany. He's been wrestling in HLG. He's got a chance to get a title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not to mention, he's a financial backer for the United Empire. So, again, things seem to be going up for El Idolo, even though he is not going to be in contention for the AEW World title for now. I would not rule it out, though, him going after that championship some point this year. Whether or not it's against MJF or somebody else, yet to be determined. Mm-hmm. But now it's time for Ash to take center stage with her most fun match of the night. Ash, mixed tag team tornado, hair versus hair match. Go ahead.
Oh my God, I love the pairing of Orange Cassidy and Tony Storm. I hope they never split. They're just so adorable, and the chemistry they have together is just. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, oh my God. It's just two things that shouldn't work together, but they just work together. And it's absolute magic. I love these two. It's like the chemistry they have is bananas. This was such a fun match, and I'm surprised Yuta took the fall because I thought Shafir was going to, and then the post-match stuff was just so funny, especially Mina getting her revenge for what happened on Wednesday.
She looked like a freaking psycho barber. She was having the time of her life.
There was a point where Tony, for a moment, was taken out of the match, and essentially was a handicap match.
Well, that damn freaking pile driver on a stage crate certainly will help with that.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it was Yuta delivering it to Tony, so they're not afraid to let the men interact with the ladies in there.
And that's the beginning part played into what happened at the end. Mm-hmm. Like nice little storybook there.
Right? I mean, at one point, I think freaking Shafir had Orange Cassidy almost trapped in Mother's Milk, and at one point, Rhea Shafir was Orange Cassidy's tangle partner.
Yeah.
And that's when Tony Storm stormed back down the ring like a bat of hell and wanted to see none of that.
Just like a jealous woman, she's like, "Oh hell no, you ain't doing that with my man. Hell no."
Psycho knee at one point to Tony Storm, but Orange Cassidy was able to break up the pin at the last possible second, much to what Walter was saying earlier about maybe his ankle being screwed up. At one point, we had dual submissions here, and the women had to make a choice whether or not you see your man tap out or you save your man from tapping out. And so they did that. Of course, Shafir and Tony Storm would do pleasantries and hostilities. And basically, Storm and Shafir threw the men away and decided to exchange strikes with each other until Shafir was put down with a headbutt after a toe kick did not knock Tony Storm out. This was just mixed nuts, balls to the walls mayhem, quite honestly.
And this match had we cannot also mention how good of a showing Shafir had in this match as well, because they made her look like a scary force to be reckoned with, especially her interactions she had with Orange.
At one point, I think she told her to do. I think he told him to do better, and I think she was even willing to take an orange punch. But at one point, Shafir went after Orange Cassidy, got caught with a beach break, and that sudden death stare of, oh, hell no, by Yuta. Yuta didn't know what to think or what to do. At one point, though, the deciding factor was the psycho knee that Yuta hit Shafir.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that took her out, and then they got pinned. And then the funny thing is, Yuta tried not to live up to his end of the bargain, and of all people, Jon Moxley forces him back into the ring and said, "You got to live up to your word." And then he got his head shaved, and it's shocking. I guess Moxley was trying to say, "Hey, I can pull it off. You can pull it off." And Shafir held onto his hand as each member. Mina, I think, was first, cut the first part. Then Tony got some. Then it was Orange. Then freaking what the hell was the butler? Luther got him some where he got to shave with a 1. I knew that was a 1 clip. I know my clip. That was a 1 all the way around. This dude had a bald spot.
Can I just say, by the way, the look of Psycho Barber on Mina Shirakawa is priceless as she ripped apart Yuta's hair with scissors.
She could not have waited to do that. She was waiting all week to do that.
She cut a big chunk with that first snip.
Oh my gosh, in the face of Yuta, pure disappointment, pure fear and animosity. And again, Moxley just watching, I'm like, Yep, that's what happens to you, man. It is what it is. It's what happens. And, you just, But yeah, and the fact that Shafir and Moxley and Yuta didn't go against their word here, I think is very commendable. And maybe now the Death Riders, Yuta particularly, will leave Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm alone. And by the way, the fans of the match, folks, lights, camera, action to Yuta in the corner and Orange Punch, Timeless Tony Storm with the Storm Zero, pinned Wheeler Yuta.
Yo, you know what's funny? I think literally Pac and Garcia are now the only ones that aren't bald. Like in terms of the men in the group.
I think you're right. I mean, Garcia's got a shaved head, but nonetheless. And Shafir, of course, grabbing Yuta's hand in ultimate embarrassment.
I guess Pac has the longest hair out of everybody now.
I guess so.
I think that's accurate. I think you're right on that. Because I think Pac's hair is just as long as mine, if not longer.
Well, at least your hair is nice and lovely, and Shafir still can square up with that ponytail. Honestly, I fear what a buzz cut Shafir could be in AEW.
Oh my god, she would pull that off really well. Like that would add to the intensity she has.
Dude, you thought she couldn't be any scarier. Like, wait if she had to shave her damn head.
Right?
Well, at the end of the day, what's next for a time to Citrus and Shafir with a Yuta? Stay tuned, folks. Good grief almighty. That was ridiculous. Well, again, you reap what you sow, or in this case, you pay for what you get cut. Freaking Luther just as a barber, too, with the freaking tiny Italian mustache, nonetheless. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to see what he looks like on Dynamite now as a bald man. Join Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh man, I'm not. It's gonna be a while for me to get used
Somebody's
to it.
got to fix the hair because it was all long strings on the side with the balls in the middle.
And then Timeless Toy Storm literally raveling in it in the ring as only she could. What the fuck?
Right? Just like swimming and it's like, oh my god, you are such a. I said like you are such a nut bar, but I love you.
The nut bar. You know what? That might be a polite, accurate term for what Timeless Toy Storm continues to be.
Then we went from the ha-has to some serious ladder bullshit. So take it away, Noah, and tell us what happened in the TNT title match.
Jesus effing Christ. What didn't happen in the TNT Championship ladder match with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe? I mean, they pulled every damn ladder that wasn't connected to a kitchen sink from underneath the freaking ring. It face really picked up, though, with a ladder suspended in the corner, and Mark Briscoe freaking lawn darted face first into it, but the ladder almost exploded like a catapult off it to the other side of the ring, thankfully not into the audience. And then freaking, Mark Briscoe got thrown into the apron, and Kyle Fletcher continued forward here. And then Kyle Fletcher was slammed into a ladder, threw him backwards halfway up in the mat. And freaking Fletcher got busted open during a restaurant quality picture-in-picture, I believe. And then we had a suspended ladder bridge between a ladder and the outside of the ring after freaking Kyle Fletcher did a moonsault off that damn freaking ladder, because of course he did. By the way, that freaking throw by Briscoe, though, into the apron with the ladder and that thud, and Fletcher up on the ladder, busted out a moonsault. Crazy motherfucker. Of course, the only thing
Fletcher did. It almost was like he was working as the face here because he was home.
Well, you know, I mean, he definitely got the homecoming reaction. He said he wanted to be welcomed as a homecoming hero. Also, before this, he asked Okada to not get involved here, much like how he didn't get involved in the TNT Championship match on Wednesday, because we are Proto-Okada, as both of them now are champions, and Okada has respected Kyle Fletcher's wishes. And so far, Kyle Fletcher, he's been getting it done on his own. Wednesday night, and here, even Don Callis, the commentator, did not get involved. He let these men bruise, batter, bludgeon, nearly kill each other, and mostly made each other bleed. After the froggy bow on a suspended ladder bridge, though, to Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe went after the title. But again, every time you fought one of these two men was freaking down and out, they weren't. I don't know how that's possible. As Briscoe saw his chance, he was slowed down, of course, bleeding like a sieve. Fletcher was able to stop him. And then a power bomb through another ladder. That ladder warped, by the way, in the most weirdest way I've ever seen, by the way. Somehow, Mark Briscoe was able to stop Kyle Fletcher's ascent. And then a freaking crescent kick with additional shots. I mean, Briscoe down on the mat. a ladder bridge between the turnbuckles and a ladder in the middle. You've all seen how this worked before, right? And then for a duration, it was almost a matter of which man's going to have the wrong step first or get killed on the suspended ladder bridge. And it turned out to be freaking Kyle Fletcher, who got jet-drillered through a suspended ladder bridge. And he was in a freaking heap. Bodies and ladder screw everywhere. Daggum. Afterwards, though, Briscoe, of course, got booted in the face as Briscoe touched the title and then was punched down. As Fletcher, I don't know how he got new life, but he sprang up that ladder. He flew. And then the most ridiculous Protostar brainbuster I've ever seen in my damn fucking life, above elevating the top of the ladder. Mark Briscoe had driven straight down to the mat, and I thought he was dead. As Fletcher once again slowly went back on the climb, Briscoe grabbed another ladder, set it side by side. Both these men fingertips away on their respective ladders until Fletcher kicks Briscoe off the side ladder. Briscoe hits the ropes, nasty landing, finally down out. Fletcher is still at the top of his ladder, and Kyle Fletcher reached for the sky boy in his hometown, literally his hometown, folks, and won Game 7 to close the epic saga of these two men. Record stands 4-3. Kyle Fletcher, Protostar, still TNT champion. What a bloody fucking ladder war.
I don't know how either man could walk after this match, let alone climb a fucking ladder to pull a title to win.
Ash, further thoughts.
This
That's
was
crazy.
This was such a good ladder match. I loved how both of them were not afraid to just jump off the ladders and do their crazy high-flying moves. And I loved the ways they used the ladder as a weapon and how in that brainbuster spot, that was so nasty.
That is, again,
how were they both able to survive is beyond me. I'm happy Fletcher won. I'm looking forward to see how who his next set of opponents are, because right now it looks like he has to deal with Ciampa, and once he's done with Ciampa, I wanted to see who he faces off next. That is, if he's still TNT champion, because it's really hard to say with the TNT being a TV title where with these open challenges and whatnot.
Yeah, and I do, and again, Kyle Fletcher, we'll see what his next open challenge leads to, but yeah, I mean, they want ladders. They screwed each other's bodies through ladders. They jumped off ladders. They jumped through each other off ladders. They drove each other through ladders. At least 2 ladders was buckled by each man's body, one by their spine, the other one by their damn fucking head. Holy hell, I haven't seen ladder car wrecks since Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens last year at the Royal Rumble. A ladder match done justice, but the ladder is not just a tool of success, but an instrument of destruction. And the only thing that limited you was your reckless abandonment, your lack of fear for your own well-being, and your vindictive, violent imagination. And Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe, checked all the boxes off in spades. Wow. Which then, of course, was our semi-main event before we got to our main event for the AEW World Championship, as Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, defended the gold against Brodie King. And honestly, the story of this match, it was a long, drawn-out way to overcome the big man to the finish on one leg. Wouldn't you agree, Ash?
Absolutely. Just the way MJF picked apart Brodie King's leg. So,
Forever exalted.
Right, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry, I'm getting my Brodies mixed up. So yeah.
There's too many Brodies in wrestling anymore. I mean, we got Brodie Jr. for Pete's sake, so you're fine, but also Botch.
Yeah, sorry.
Y'all good.
I do miss Brodie Lee though. He was one of my favorite TNT champions.
Same.
So yeah, Brodie. Yeah, the way MJF just targeted Brodie King's legs was just so good. Sometimes I forget how good of a mat worker MJF is. It is how methodical he is. It's just I absolutely love it and also it played effect into the finish of the match too. And I love that in wrestling when a wrestler picks apart a body and it plays into the finish of the match. And Brodie tried to do it his best, and Brodie did a good job of selling the injury too, because those two just work so well together. And it's just, yeah, I really like this match.
Yeah, it was definitely a methodical approach by MJF, who even pulled off the kangaroo drop kick at one point while dodging the cannonball. Speaking of dodging conversation sometimes, or just coming in late, here comes the other half of the Canadian Connection. Nick Ferrantes via Avatar Man. And Charles Schultz is also returned to the call. First and foremost, Nick, how are you this evening?
I'm good, boys and girls. I'm good.
Glad to hear, man. Good to have you here.
Happy Valentine's Day to all you folks out there.
Well, that's nice, but I don't give two shits about what this team's about outside of the fact that I love professional wrestling. But to you and the misses, all the best. God bless both of you. That being said, talking about the AEW Grand Slam main event, then we'll go down and get your thoughts of the card. Yeah, Ash, you're definitely on point there. I mean, again, it was all about him trying to hit the cannonball first. MJF was able to scout it, then mocking Australia and his former Brochacho, hit a kangaroo drop kick. But as soon as he locked Brodie King's left knee around the ring post in a submission and continued chopping it down the sides, further exploiting it and making sure Brodie King could not pick up to his feet, it was on MJF versus a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Eventually, Brodie King was able to hit the cannonball and a fall-away cross-body at the expense of his own knee, sandwiching MJF between the guardrail, and then finally hit the cannonball after the third attempt, but MJF survived the kick out. And we've been wondering how much that injury was prolonging Brodie King in this match, but he still kept fighting. At one point, MJF was trying to beat Brodie King the same way as Bandito via the sleeper hold, but Bandito came down to encourage him not to give up, and he didn't. Stop the referee from laying the hand down for the 3 count. Both of these two men battered each other so badly that literally Brodie King had to hoist the dead weight of MJF back inside the ring after hitting him with a spiked DDT, catching him with a tope suicida, and MJF got caught with a death-by driver. Eventually,
at
though,
9 3/4.
Yeah, about to say, as the countouts always do here. As MJF was trying to pull out the ring, referee caught him red-handed, and then Brodie King knocked him the fuck out with one massive elbow strike. And then, of course, everyone's favorite meme, hang in there. He got choked out, hanging guillotine chokehold, and dropped dead to the floor. As Brodie King continued to attack a lifeless MJF, bringing him back inside the ring, he finally hit the Gonzo bomb, but MJF survived. I think that was the first time someone could dial the Gonzo bomb him as well. And again, it probably was just the covering, if nothing else. Eventually, both men were staggering to their feet, but MJF was able to catch Brodie King with a drop toe hold, and to Ash's point, further expose that knee to work on it, drop the pad, drop the brace, and literally bit at it. At one point, though, pounding away Brodie King's knee to survive, I think Brodie King was going for an attempted Gonzo bomb or power driver on the apron, but somehow, thanks to just knowing that knee was there and saving his own damn life, he was able to constantly attack it. As MJF was finally able to stagger his way inside the ring and not necessarily tombstone him, but dropping him face first. And I think that comes down, by the way, to the fatigue of the match and the size of Brodie King and the weight. I mean, he's near 300 pounds, folks.
That was still
yeah,
crazy strength by MJF.
No kidding. Either way, drop Brodie King like a bad habit, mostly face first on the apron. And basically, as Brodie King staggered, nothing left in the base, in position, Heat Seeker DDT, and MJF covered Brodie King for the win to retain the W World Championship. As he tried to bask in his win, as again proves he better you know it, we're moving forward. We're not wasting time. Him and Adam Page ain't waiting. He now knows, and he's going to be fine with it, and he gave him the pin to sign the dotted line, figuring him out with a punch. It's now official. Him and Adam Page will challenge MJF for the AEW World Championship at Revolution in the Staples Center. So stay tuned for more on that. Of course, they talk about Sacramento, California, Wednesday Night Dynamite. We got Kenny Omega versus Strickland, the Brawling Birds. Of course, Jamie Hayter and Alex Winter will make their in-ring debut together on Dynamite. And we also have a face-to-face with Heyman and Page and MJF. And so much more to come, knowing that Lena Cross is now part of this roster, and Chris Statler is looking to fuck up Thekla. So stay tuned for AEW, as always, folks. But that was AEW Grand Slam, and as the name implies, I'd say the show was a Grand Slam. It was quite a wild 2.5 hours. I really enjoyed it.
When did they not hit a Grand Slam? AEW is literally it's where it's at. You say Statton's where it's at. AEW in general is where it's at.
More often than not, as a professional wrestling fan from me, but I do get what you're saying. Since Nick just joined in, we'll get his spots, then we'll get Charles, and then we'll go back to Ash for a closing remarks. So, Nick, did you check out AEW Grand Slam as all? And if not, what are your thoughts based on what you've heard? Or if you have, Lend your highlights, and what do you think about Lena Cross being added to the roster?
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, we had we were doing the Valentine's tang, but I did catch a little bit here and there.
All right.
Card was good. Crowd was good. Anybody that want to bitch about ratings and attendance, please exit left.
Man.
Yeah, no, the show was great. So show flew. Kyle and Mark almost killed themselves.
Accurate.
Opening, I mean, they kind of used. Listen, people need to realize this was, as much as they want to call it Grand Slam, this was, because I've seen people try to compare this to Royal Rumble, and it's like it's not even a comparison.
No.
So, again, exit stage left. They really used this show, I thought, as a setup towards Revolution. More in the sense of, we kind of already knew they were going for the world title picture, but everything else, with the time limit draw between Mox and Takeshita.
There you go.
You know that's leading somewhere. The stuff with the Babes of Wrath and Lena Cross, you kind of see that developing, and just everything else in between. I really like the video package with Tekla and
Chris Statlander.
I loved it. It was so good. To the people that say Tekla can't cut a promo, you're crazy.
What the fuck? People aren't watching Tekla enough. She's been cutting promos left and right.
That was amazing with what she did. And honestly, I was talking to other people about this, and going back to Tekla winning the title, I was never opposed to it, and now seeing what hopefully they do come Revolution, I would not be surprised if we get, because listen, title reigns, I get it, the world titles, you want them to have long reigns. If Tekla takes this championship and even takes it into Revolution and drops it, I'm okay with that. Like, you can have transitional champions.
Definitely.
With that being said, I can totally see, and y'all can bookmark this shit, with the promo that Tekla and Chris gave us, I can see Revolution being them two, a lights out steel cage match or some sort of enclosure match.
Oh shit.
I would say steel cage. Tekla, Chris Statlander in a steel cage, main eventing Revolution.
Wow.
I can totally see that happening.
I mean, where do you go after a strap match, though? Shit.
I mean, they already bled. They literally carved each other's skin. They have zero fucks to their own and each other's well-being. And now Stat Daddy's looking to freaking take the legs off a spider, becoming the cosmic killer. I mean, that's a fair shout, honestly.
The fact that they had their strap match, you now have well, we got 5-6 weeks till Revolution.
Correct.
You have 5-6 weeks to really ramp this rivalry up as a blood feud. Exactly, like to the point where you can get, again, a lights out steel cage match between Tekla versus Chris, main eventing Revolution.
Tekla did say she sees a lot of herself in Chris. We're not that different, and honestly, based on their feud and how heated it's been and how aggressive they were Wednesday night, she's not wrong.
And think about it this way. So what I've kind of noticed is that when people's names, especially after Wednesday, when people's names are in the news, they tend to show up relatively soon. A la Private Party. After Revolution, the next pay-per-view is Dynasty. So how fitting would it be, and I'm going to put my tinfoil cap on.
Uh-oh.
I think Britt Baker's coming back soon. I think I can totally see Tekla versus Chris main eventing Revolution. Chris getting the belt back, and just as that show's going off the air, Britt Baker comes back, and we get Britt Baker versus Stat Daddy at Dynasty.
Man, considering the history of those two, and they truly haven't had that one-on-one. And honestly, last time Chris Statler had a chance at the title was literally against her and lost. I mean, that's a fair shot. I actually really like that booking. But overall, it sounds like you enjoyed Grand Slam and you're very optimistic, particularly with the AEW Women's World Championship. And so far, the World Championship has kept you intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, they're guys. They're firing on all cylinders. To anybody that said that anybody that says that they're not firing on cylinders, you might not like it, and that's just you. But to say that they're not, you're being disingenuous.
They got their shit together for sure.
Yeah, and like both title pictures are looking, you can see it going, and it's nice to see.
I said that I said that I think MJF is going to end up facing everybody who was in this tournament and like run the gauntlet defending the title. He's going to go through everybody who was involved in this watch.
Well, I mean, there's a certain aerial assassin that we've seen video packages of, and I mean, you see them hyping all in already. You know this dude's coming back. You know this dude's coming back for
he's doing everything possible. We don't know that, but we're hoping that at the end of the day, you don't underestimate surgery to your neck. He said he may never be the same again, but he's going to do everything he can when it comes back to AEW to be the aerial assassin that we know he is to elevate this game.
Yeah.
Just the other thing, MJF doesn't have this on his mind. He's not thinking about it, but he's got history with the hurt business, and a certain person is going to come back from injury, and after all that, they're going to have to close that chapter, and he may have to go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley, and that's going to be freaking nuts.
I would hope that's before All In, because again, if you're going to Wembley, I mean, again, we're all just speculating.
Of course.
But if you're going to Wembley and Will's not winning that title that year, you're missing. You think you're missing it. But yeah, no, they're firing on all cylinders. They're looking great. Show flowed. I really hope, and again, this is just me in my head. I really hope we've already have Grand Slam Mexico. We've had Grand Slam Australia. I want them to take this Grand Slam concept and kind of use it. And I've said it before. Use it as a way to introduce new cities you never dude. Grand Slam France. No, man. Grand Slam France. Grand Slam Italy. Grand Slam Portugal. You know, like
Grand Slam Belgium. Yep.
All right, so we're just talking about the UK apparently and Europe.
Well, no, but like take the Grand Slam concept to places where you've never had AEW wrestling, and that can be your introduction to it.
I like that idea. I mean,
Grand Slam Puerto Rico.
Dude, imagine Grand Slam Puerto Rico and Bad Bunny comes. Like,
all right,
like, come on, right? But no,
a little bit of a wild tangent.
Exactly.
But we'll see. All right,
but,
I'm just saying.
But no, they're guys. Listen, like I said, they're firing on all cylinders. They have to keep up this momentum. Again, if you're saying that they're shitting the bed and you're talking about ratings and listen, yeah, okay, I get it, numbers matter, but the art right now, the art of AEW and what they're doing, they're on a good track. Hopefully they can keep it up throughout the year.
All right, well, fair enough. We'll see what happens. Charles, lend your thoughts if your device has cooled down enough and you had a lot of time to think. What did you think of AEW Grand Slam Australia?
I enjoyed the whole show. I enjoyed it. And also, Nick, if AEW goes to France, that'll be Noah's nightmare.
Look, no, it wouldn't. It would be actually.
Walter's got that smirk on his face. He knows why I said that.
Listen.
Don't do it. I will take you off this feed. Don't do it. We're not doing that tonight.
I think Noah's nightmare happened last night. So let's just cut it with Noah's nightmares, okay?
Please and thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
I'm just saying.
After what we saw on the No Surrender live stream, let's cut Noah some slack today, okay?
Continue, Charles.
And Noah literally surrendered.
Yeah, there you go. But I enjoyed it, and also I'm expecting Will Ospreay to come back sooner rather than later. At this point, the fact they keep airing these vignettes, I'm sitting here going, that man must be Wolverine or something, or he must have somehow had the same body as John Cena to recover so freaking damn fast.
He didn't look bad in Japan. Like when what's his name retired, he showed up as a cameo. Like he didn't look
Well,
like
he did more than that.
crazy. Yeah.
He showed up again. Showed up again with. Sorry.
Continue.
Yeah, and the whole night in the United Empire thing in Japan, which I'll be very interested knowing Andrade is involved in that.
And Kyle Newman right now is running on spite, doing what Will Ospreay couldn't, killing in his own mind Bullet Club War Dogs and ending David Finlay.
Pretty much. But yeah, I expect Ospreay to be back sooner rather than later. And also, I want Andrade to win instead of Heyman because we done Heyman already. I have somebody else.
You know, it's AEW's version of John Cena, Randy Orton, and the roles are reversed this time with who has the gold. So, you know.
I still feel by the end of 2026, before the calendar rolls to 2027, Fletcher is going to hold that title.
We'll take. But again, we have to wait and see if the bruv takes it first. Right now, MJF says you fought the first reign with something. You ain't seen nothing yet. Hell of a hot start so far, and it hasn't even been 100 days.
Pretty much.
And we're talking about people that are injured, that could come back to face it, that are connected history. We talked about who's already going after the title. We talked about those that want to go after the title but are dealing with other things, such as Darby Allin with a fucking madman, etc. It's crazy to think right now the depth of the AEW World Championship picture, and we've barely scratched the surface.
The fact that we all saying these different scenarios and all coming up with our own stuff, it just lets you know, bottom line, AEW is on fuego.
And let's not forget, you can listen, and people can, and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy. People can say that they're retired. I am. People can say that they're retired or retiring, but if you put enough money in front of a phenomenal one, a
phenomenal amount of zeros.
If you put a phenomenal amount of zeros in front of people, they be coming out of retirement. So it's Let's don't forget. Don't cut that guy just because one said he's retired. I don't know about that.
Well, optimism continues far, but reality is seen as believing. Ash, let's go to you finally to talk more about this. Then we'll talk about Ciampa a little bit and his championship. Sudden change. Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, I was about to say, to add to Nick's point about AJ Styles just said he was done with WWE, not wrestling in general. So you got to keep in mind that phrasing.
That's fair.
Again, all speculative because you're going to have people clip the show and be like, oh, but you guys said this.
To that we said might. Keyword might. So
yeah, clean the crap out of your ears and find the content of the whole sentence and don't try and freaking nit click it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Don't try to use this so what we say as like as gotcha moments. So yeah, toss off wankers. But anyway, Grand Slam Australia. I really enjoyed the show. I like the storyline potential that they have because I'm looking forward to what they're doing with the Babes of Wrath and the new person, Lena Cross is her name, or
yes. Lena Cross.
Yeah, that was right. Okay, yeah, and what Fletcher has in store next after Tommaso Ciampa, because I don't think they're quite done yet. I'll get more into details on that when we talk about the title reign, and because I got some comments to say about that title reign. But anyway.
I'm sure you do. You'll kick that off. Continue.
Mm-hmm. So what else? Hangman MJF. I'm looking forward to that. It's just the only downside I have about that is that even though there's like a lineup for MJF's opponents, I want to see like more people in the main event because it seems like we're cycling through the same people. And I know they have yet to build, like slowly but surely building up people, which they've had with Darby, Fletcher, Bandito. I want to see like more people get involved into the mix because that's just an industry problem. Like it's the same thing with New Japan and WWE's that way too, where like a lot of the main event, like the main event scene cycling through the same people, but it's a long due process. And where was it going? How long was it going? I look forward to see what Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy do next, because I love those two. They are a highlight.
I can tell how much you were having so much giddy fun during that, and Walter was on a pun run.
The Tangerine Tango.
Will you stop that?
It needs to be their finisher. They need a double team finisher and call it the Tangerine Tango.
They tangled enough times when freaking Rhea Shafir intercepted the dance with a spinning back fist and pulled the needle off the record. All right.
I mean that orange punch into the Storm Zero is that's what a pile driver is called, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Punch
that's a
zero.
double team move.
And you know, 2 moves in sequence. I mean, it works for itself. You know, the
Right.
1-2. All right.
What else is there? Yeah, I'm happy for Andrade. He looks really good. This new environment is working so well for him. I look forward to see what he does next. I hope maybe somewhere down the line he gets involved with the world title picture, because, again, we need new people, and Andrade could fit that mold. And looking forward to how Moxley and Takesha's international title?
Yeah, Continental.
Continental. Damn it, I always get those two mixed up. But you know, God damn it. Yeah,
Well,
the title Moxley
And I don't know about the
has,
lady.
the title that Moxley has, I'm looking forward to how that feud plays out with Takeshita.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Charles, continue, Ash. Finish your
Yes.
thoughts. You're fine.
So that's what I love about this show. Like the little story beats and angles that they've created, and as I really enjoy the show, and it did its job in getting me excited for this upcoming Wednesday night Dynamite.
And the fact the only match right now on that show is Kenny Omega versus Strickland and the Brawling Birds in ring debut as a tag duo.
I mean, I'm a simple lady. All you say be like, "Hey, Ash, Kenny Omega's on Wednesday." I'm like, "Okay, I'm watching."
Stop bringing it up. You're making me want to go.
Speaking of,
Do it.
AEW's coming to Winnipeg.
I know where she's gonna be.
Yeah, and I'm going with my dad.
Bullshit.
Nick, how many times have AEW gone to Toronto, and how many times have you gotten a pay-per-view?
Accurate.
Should get it all the time.
Charles been waiting patiently.
So yeah, I'm looking
for patiently. Bring AEW back to Toledo. Don't bring TNA to Cleveland. Bring AEW pay-per-view to One Side Center. Damn it! You give us every pay-per-view special from freaking Front Night Dynamite to Beach Break to Insert Thing here, and you still haven't given Ohio a damn AEW pay-per-view. Come on, Tony. Freaking save the state. Anyway.
And
Sorry.
Tony, bring AEW pay-per-view to Winnipeg, because Winnipeg hasn't had a pay-per-view since, I don't know, 1995?
Canada always gets pay-per-views for wrestling. Y'all got to
Not
the
Winnipeg. Winnipeg don't.
We got Vancouver and Toronto. Y'all got enough up there in that country.
Not Winnipeg.
Toledo Tony. Let's go Toledo Tony. All right, go ahead, Charles.
All right, let's let Charles speak before we get any more excited.
You sure no? Because you're getting more like Brady to my city. Damn it!
I mean, I've been saying that till the cows come home, as the phrase goes. But it is what it is with this city. That's only about hockey, and I give two shits about that. Go ahead,
Damn.
Charles.
And also with it was just dude. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Talked about that freaking Moxley thing. Because of that whole thing, him telling Yuta to accept and all that, I'm just waiting for Moxley to get kicked out at that point. And also, Bald Yuta.
The Ball Brothers.
So you have Claudio, Yuta, Mox. And the only two people that has hair is freaking Shafir and Pac. And short hair, Daniel Garcia's getting closer to Moxley's bald head anyway.
Oh,
so, so you know what, actually? Wow. This is a message for Hair Club. That's right, that's what it is.
A message for Hair Club.
AEW doesn't need to go the WWE route and get a bunch of sponsors. Leave Hair Club for Men out of it.
I'm just saying that's a joke sarcastically, Walter.
Be careful that you might bring something into reality. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. But this is also a fair shout, much to what you all were talking about when it came to Grand Slam being that international spectacle to bring eyes to the crowd for the first time. It's one of those things also, though, that HBO Max does not have as much stroke as public television as well to air stuff live that's halfway across the world, unlike a series that is available globally. Why I would love to see AEW do that right now. How long it took WWE to do that? It took them to go on to Netflix in their 52-plus year history. AEW is not even, and I say this again with the utmost respect, not even 7 years old yet, folks. But I love that potential idea. All right. That being said, Grand Slam, you hit it out of the park, down under, or I guess with a cricket bat.
I would love an AEW pay-per-view where we're done by 5 p.m. I would love that shit.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you do want a better time, and this is more so for others, not for me. But again, when you watch wrestling that you enjoy, you don't think about a clock. You don't take a bathroom break.
No, look at the opening match. I didn't even realize the 20 minutes had passed.
When I told you there was less than a minute left, and I was literally calling, he kicked out one, y'all didn't believe me, and then the bell rung after that last kick out. It was over like that. Anyway, again, AEW, fucking awesome stuff. All right, with that being said, we still have a lot more fun, a lot more talk, and a lot more puns, I'm sure, to be thrown around. So when we get back, we're going to talk about the moment that Ciampa lost the title, why he got the championship in the first place, and WWE is the moment that you are bleeding buckets of money starting to become a leaky faucet. We got that coming up and so much more when the Saturday Shenanigans continue after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
That last graphic. That being said, here at the Simple Level Studio, truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, fantasy book, hype up, and look forward to all the wrestling. And welcome back here to the Saturday Shenanigans. Noah Foster at the helm tonight because Jada's having fun at GCW. Always having a great time. Thank you for those, by the way, that are tuning into the Team Independence, of course, covering GCW for the weekend. Hope you enjoyed. And also, as Nick said earlier, to him and Ms. Ferrantes, to anybody with a significant other, treasure them. I hope that you all had a happy Valentine's Day for those that celebrate and buy into that stuff. Again, Walter Cruz, our Canadian friend Ash, Charles Schultz, and Nick are here as we continue the conversation. So again, we talked about what we covered. Now let's talk about what things have happened lately in wrestling. A couple of keynotes here. Tommaso Ciampa. What truly is a moment with Sylvie was a moment. Tommaso Ciampa, of course, lost the championship to Kyle Fletcher in just a span of 11 days. Now, of course, Kyle Fletcher, he was able to take advantage of the open challenge that Tommaso Ciampa continued following forward like Mark Briscoe did. And, of course, Mark Briscoe, he overcame Clone, sent over Don Callis' family, and Ciampa came into AEW. My shadow knows my story with more renewed spirit in wrestling than he's had in a long time. Immediately challenged Mark Briscoe on Collision, won the title. And, of course, had one successful defense in triple threat action against Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli in a very game bout following another match after that. But the Protostar came forward to then challenge Tommaso Ciampa for the title. In about 17 minutes, Kyle Fletcher won fair and square on his own. much to what Walter was trying to say as I passed the ball to Ash. Championships don't necessarily have to be long, but they gotta be meaningful. When it comes to the title, it's a merit of who earns it and who you pass it off to and what comes of it for the good of the competitor and the company. Learn something, TNA. That being said, Kyle Fletcher, the Proto Star, won the TNT Championship and has already got one incredible defense, closing a saga with a very formidable opponent, as we saw at Grand Slam. And now it's a whole new ballgame with him as champion. But was Ciampa the guy they really needed to pass it off to because Mark Briscoe was the one to hold on to it? Was Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher the plan the whole time for number 7? And was Ciampa a spinner in the works? Did they course correct, or was this a sudden booking? Do you agree or disagree with the decision? Ciampa being TNT champion out the gate, was it needed? Let's go around the horn and get your thoughts towards this truly transitional championship run. And if you thought it was worthy or unnecessary. Ash, I will start with you.
So last time on Shenanigans, when I talked about it, I mentioned like how I don't want this to be transitional. And seems like I was correct in my assumption that it was transitional. Now, then again, there's nothing wrong with the transitional champion, but was it needed, especially if the end goal for Grand Slam Australia was Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe? Because if that was the case, then Tommaso Ciampa didn't need to win the title. And I understand why they did it, because a lot of one of AEW's the biggest criticism AEW gets is that how every newcomer or like debuting person loses their debut match. And the TNT title match between Ciampa and Briscoe at Collision, that was Ciampa's debut match.
Correct.
And I get and it feels like Tommaso's shock win was in response to those criticism, and only that, but also try to get eyeballs on Collision, because not that many people talk about Collision. Because it's not that it's not being watched, because it is, but just it's not as talked about as much as Dynamite in the pro wrestling circles. Mm-hmm. Because if the end goal was Mark Briscoe versus Fletcher, Mark Briscoe could have walked in as champion. And for the Ciampa's match, it could have ended in a time limit draw. So that way Mark Briscoe still looks strong and Tommaso Ciampa looks strong. And he technically doesn't lose the debut match.
Yeah, those matches have gone to time of the draws, as we've seen for these TV titles, both for TBS and TNT. It's just one of those things, though, also where at the end of the day, Kyle Fletcher is a heel, but we're going down under in Australia. He wanted that, homecoming heroes welcome, regardless if he had the title or not. Mm-hmm. He would have been that. So, case in point, and Mark Briscoe came in as champion, Kyle Fletcher came in as challenger, and Kyle Fletcher still pushed this ladder match. Would the decision still be justified in Kyle getting the better of Mark once for all and being the TNT champion? The roles were reversed, would it have the same impact? Maybe that's also what they were thinking as well. Did it make more sense for Kyle to be champion, to put Mark Briscoe out of the picture once for all as, let's call it what it is, his most worthy but his most communicative challenger? And was Ciampa just, a step towards an end?
I think it would have made a bigger impact if Kyle won the title in his hometown. But, winning that title, it's more emotional it's just my opinion, but in front of your hometown where you were born, to actually be able to win it. I mean, I'm not demeaning defending the title either, but it's just, I feel like there's more of an emotional connection when somebody can say, oh shit, he did it, he won the title, he did it, rather than he retained the title.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, again, where's the biggest impact with you as champion when it comes to holding the gold or winning the gold? And that might be the outlook here, because it's not the first company, not the first time. It's a TV title, by the way, folks. Just saying, get up your high horse. That we've seen a very short transitional period. But for people who watch AEW, or for people that have followed the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa, and figured about the aura with his entrance alone, my shadow knows my story, and the pump and circumstance he came into AEW for, and winning this title immediately, and of course being the black heart of our NXT for an incredible period of time, maybe people are caught off guard by this, because again, he was a formidable, long-standing NXT champion, and it took his body quitting on him for him to relinquish it. Otherwise, he and Gargano were the main event to happen at NXT TakeOver New York 2019. And would the result been different that night versus Adam Cole? Baby. Again, hindsight, what ifs, ... Why? Simon Miller, why? Here's why. But let's go ahead and find out Nick and see if he thinks why or because. Nick, it's on you. What are your thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa holding the title for 11 days and losing to Kyle Fletcher? Was it necessary at all? And he might be asleep, so we'll go ahead and give him the 3-second thing. Going once.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes, sir. I was talking to you. Your thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa's 11-day run as the TNT champion and Kyle Fletcher getting it back. Was it necessary at all?
I think with anybody of a Tommaso Ciampa stature wanting to come into the company, you do it. There's no hesitation. I mean, he came in. Did you like the way he was presented right off the bat? I mean, yeah, that's a chat. He was presented way better in 3 weeks here than I don't think he's ever been in WWE since Black and Gold. So when a guy like that comes into the company, yeah, you know what? You give him the title. I do wish, because I think we kind of, anybody who's watching the product and is in actually paying attention, it was always gonna be it was always an unofficial 7-game series between Kyle and Mark. Like, they didn't need to tell you. If you saw it and you watched and you paid attention, it was already there. I just think, like I said, a free agent like Tommaso comes available, you sign him, and you give him the title. I feel like he will be. He'll have a couple reigns with it. I think he definitely will once Kyle moves on to the world title picture. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I wish they did it better, but circumstances being what they were, you kind of had no choice.
Yeah, fair enough. So it sounds like they basically painted in a corner to give a newcomer their moment, but give a bright, young, upcoming original their homecoming moment. And again, does Mark Briscoe even need the TNT title anymore? Finally got his first accolade. There's a lot of hindsight here that I think people might not be necessarily concerned about this when it just comes to the fact that Ciampa won a time's debut and he lost after 11 days. What was the point? And I think, again, not looking at all the pieces to this underestimates the value of Ciampa's impact and the TNT Championship transition and what can come from it. And who's to say Ciampa can't challenge for this again now at some point? Kyle Fletcher did say, I will challenge anyone, anywhere, anytime. And we'll see how much longer he or Don Callis holds up to that statement.
And people have to remember, and this is, I get people are gonna, this is where people bitch about AEW having too many titles. Well, guess what? Now Ciampa can go after the international title. He can be in the Continental Classic and win the Continental title when it comes to.
Bold take.
But you know what I mean? Like, this is where the national title. This is where, I mean, having too many titles maybe not be a bad thing. But I think the international title and continental title are being kind of wrapped up in something longer term. So, I mean, he's got the national title to go after. And Mark, I love Mark. I love the conglomeration. I think it's time for Mark to maybe say, you know what? let me help out Ring of Honor again. And you know, maybe Mark does stuff with Ring of Honor now and helps grow the new talent coming in from Ring of Honor. He doesn't need to be a world champion. He's already been one. So
that's fair. For our world champion, and again, all about looking towards the future of the business. You want to bring forward this generation, give them a chance, and don't have them just, you know, eating and catering or being in the cheap sheets of the pre-show or preliminary card. I do get what you're saying, and it's just one of those things right now where I think Kyle Fletcher has more defined the TNT Championship versus others in a very, very long time. And I think this is a rightful spot for him, honestly. Quite a way to get back there, though. Charles, what do you think about Tommaso Ciampa being a stepping stone to what may have ultimately been the goal to get Kyle Fletcher the TNT Championship back at the expense of Mark Briscoe, nonetheless?
Well, it feels like we just wasted time with Ciampa on that one. Had the title run. And then the fact, it also just confirms to me as soon as Mark Briscoe beat Kyle Fletcher for the title, I was like, well, this belt's going straight back to freaking Kyle Fletcher when they go to Australia.
I just want to say right now, I did not think that was going to happen. And by the way, for those that are wondering, that legitimately happened this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Continue.
Exactly. And also, it's kind of funny how they really want to get that belt on Kyle Fletcher. Because the fact that something happened on AEW in the arena that didn't air on TV. Kyle Fletcher's got a pink TNT title now. Belt.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they did. They did that off air, by the way. And not by the show in the arena.
Of course they did.
Which just confirms that belt, that T-tail was always planning to go back to freaking Kyle. And we're going to do this pink strap.
Well, to be fair, though, Charles, let's be honest here. This television championship has been defining the image of the face of TNT, and each TNT champion has put their own identity with it. Couldn't think of a more fitting identity for the Proto Star than a pink strap. Continue.
Yeah. But, and also about Kyle Fletcher's acting more face-like, which is kind of like, well, he's going to get kicked out. We think it's not going to be just... someone else is going to get kicked out, like Konosuke. It's going to be Kyle Fletcher at the same time.
Protocada is perfectly safe for right now.
It's literally so bluntly because the fact that Don Kyle's was not even questioning why the hell did Kyle throw down the challenge to Mark Briscoe in the first place.
Well, also, Kyle Fletcher was talking about how the Continental Classic, talking about course correcting, literally was trying to go after the Continental Championship. And Don Kyle says the focus for you is becoming the greatest TNT champion of all time. So it's almost like, in a way, we're seeing Don Kyle still trying to hold Kyle Fletcher. Continue.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, this whole Ciampa win the title. Should have never faced Mark Briscoe at all. If the belt was going to go back to Kyle, there should have been Mark Briscoe all the way to now, ladder match, and basically we would have got what we got. That's all I can say on that.
That's fair. That just makes me beg the question, though. What is next for Tommaso Ciampa after his incredibly short, explosive impact in AEW? What does the Psycho Killer want to do here in this new chapter? It's just one of those things right now where things just seem a little bit askew. But anyway, regardless, congratulations to the Proto Star, Kyle Fletcher, and much to what they were talking about. Yes, indeed, folks, it is an all-pink strap now for the TNT Championship for a guy that's defined pink since the Owen Hart Foundation. So, again, Kyle Fletcher truly making this title his own image. Bloody brilliant.
I think the destination was always the same. They just took the crazy ass route because Ciampa signed in the middle of it. So that's all. It just took an alternate route to the same destination.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I also don't think it's denounced the TNT Championship any less, because how many times did they go hot potato with the likes of, I don't know, Sammy Guevara, Cody Rhodes, Wardlow,
Darby,
Powerhouse and Wardlow.
Powerhouse was so messed up with that title when he won it and lost in the fashion.
Dude,
that he
before
did.
Orange got it, it wasn't all that. Orange kind of elevated it. Cassidy.
International, actually. Darby Allin was the
yeah,
first
that's
one
right.
to really elevate it. Again,
Yeah.
all the titles, right? Too many titles, but also botch. It's just one of those things, though, with the TNT Championship. Might I add, the most ridiculously transition championship in AEW, by the way. I just think Kyle Fletcher is a foundation. See what I did there? For the TNT title to stay on a person for the long haul, and rightfully so. He's the 31st TNT champion now, by the way. Good Lord.
Do you think Fletcher's going to win the Owen Hart Foundation Cup? Having 2 pink belts if he's still the TNT champion by then?
You all keep lauding him to become a future AEW world champion. I wouldn't rule it out.
That's step one.
Well, nah. I expect Ospreay.
Still holding out for that. Figured out he's going to come in as the wild card.
Just remember, man, a broken neck ain't nothing to fuck with, man.
Damn right. Ciampa
True.
knows that. Remember, Ciampa
Like-
went through neck surgery.
True, but you never know. People, human bodies, certain people's human bodies are different than normal.
Look at Josh
You never-
Alexander, how long he took to come back, dude. I thought his shit was done.
So did he.
True, but like I said, you can never really. Sometimes people can have amazing random ass healing factors like the Wolverine for some weird reason. You think they're gonna be gone for a long period of time, and then hey, see you in 2 months or 3 months. Hi.
It's just a weird world we live in. That's what it is.
Literally.
All right. But anyway, congratulations to Kyle Fletcher, now 2-time TNT champion. The 11 days, I don't think was necessary. It was a cool moment with Ciampa, but he could have just had a moment, much like I said, to a time limit draw with one of his closest friends and long-term rivals from Ring of Honor. Now, whether or
I
not
think it was just done. It was sorry, Noah. It was just done for shock value. That's all. So, but
yeah, and sometimes in this business, if you're not about the pops, you're about the socks. Simple as that. And YouTube streamers are the definition of that. Exhibit us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get right into business, shall we? Because our closing topic, much to the microeconomics expert on the panel here, WWE. How's the profit margin lately for your biggest show of the year?
Well, apparently it's not good. Recent numbers have shown a dramatic decrease in sales as of late. Ticket prices will remain stagnant. We are also going to try and host licensing for certain venues in Las Vegas to not host the show because we expect more people to go to the show versus watch it even from the nearest residence. Because as of right now, ticket sales are not that great. According to sources, as reported by NoDQ, WrestleMania 42 continues to try and follow the pace of last year's 2-night extravaganza in Allegiant Stadium. As of WrestleTix, we have distributed over about 38,000 tickets for WrestleMania Saturday and 37,000 tickets for our Sunday, adding about 800 more seats the past 7 days. And Sunday would add another 917. The cheapest ticket right now is $266 as of this was reported, I believe, a day ago, plus tax. And this is Ticketmaster, by the way, so you're probably getting closer to $350. And then combo tickets are $738.75. As of right now, they are dramatically down, over 10,000 per night. WrestleMania 41 had on average about 60,000, as you can see, despite the fact they inflated the numbers as they always do. And the confirmed actual attendance was respected both nights, the 60,000 and 58,000. However, WWE is not quite happy with these numbers. They've held a multiple department meeting on February 11th to address the lower than expected numbers, and all departments have been tasked with unique strategies for further promoting and strategies to involve more fans to spend their money. And so far, it does not involve lowering ticket pricing. There is also a stigma right now to the point they're going to try and force people's hands in a way by not allowing venues to have watch parties that are within 50 miles of the stadium, which has frustrated a ton of local business already, including not limited to hotels, sports bars, most of which are on the strip. So the fact that you're not going to let an external audience within the area get a spectacle of the showcase of the Immortals
because they refuse to buy your overinflated tickets for the nights they're live is fucking gouging and ridiculous. So, is business better than usual with these new strategies that are coming into play, or is WWE Cinderella days numbered sooner rather than later? Business will always exist, but how profitable will it truly be from a fan's live investment if this continues to happen and be the new normal to attend a premium live event? Let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts towards this strategy. Will you buy into it eventually, or could it be one of WWE's short circumstances downfall for the time being? I will start with the man that's supposed to be privately in the chat in Mr. Schultz. Schultz, what do you think about this?
Can you please bring up the first thing again with the pricing, please? Good sir?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. The fact that it's not, it's pretty bad. This is ridiculous. It's literally, it's what it is. And in fact, yeah, and also they're having this whole meetings about this, which is very bad because of the price, because of all the attendance down and everything else. And oh my god, this is ridiculous. It's reason why. This is the reason why I'm probably never going to go to a WWE event again. Because I know my mother and my father is always taking me to some that goes in the joy. But with dudes have everything crazy going on everything, and now these ticket prices, like, this is why I prefer going to other companies and indies, and also block and watch parties. Huh? Funny. UFC freaking has a problem with people streaming that, so who knows? They're probably going to do that next, because how TKO operates. It's going to happen, and I'm going to sit here, or stand, or whatever, and I'm going to be like, yeah, WWE's turning to UFC 2.0.
Damn.
It's, again, how many times has Triple H has been on every freaking thing?
More than I can count.
And every time when you see UFC, and Walter can back me up on this, who do you usually see sometimes promoted at front and center?
Walter right now is preoccupied, to answer your question.
Well, like Walter would know the same answer as me, but Dana White.
Exactly, and let's not neglect the fact TKO under Endeavor is, of course, the UFC owner.
Exactly. So it's like, this is ridiculous. And it's only going to get worse. This is going to be the normal for as long as to the end of the universe or whatever. I don't know.
I said it. How long ago did I say it? That it's going to be a bunch of suit and tie stock broker people and celebrities sprinkled in the crowd. It's going to be no more families. It's going to. Didn't I say that? No. As soon as this ESPN fucking deal was signed, it was going to be all downhill from here, which is why I refused to get ESPN over this shit. They made a mistake. When you make prices to where you got to take out a fucking second mortgage to afford to be able to take your family to go to a live event, you know you're in fucking doing something wrong.
Walter, how about third and fourth and fifth at that point?
Yeah. Like, you literally have to put a lien against your house to be able to afford to see WWE live. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's only going to keep getting worse.
You know, it also makes me wonder. Go ahead.
Say what you want about Vince McMahon, but he was family friendly first. He never did this gouge the fucking prices like this. You could say what he wanted in a personal manner, but the man knew how to run fucking business.
Yeah. We can say what we want about him, creatively and everything else, which that's a whole other, that's an agreement.
What were you going to say? What does it make you wonder, Noah?
No John Cena this year. You're running out of top guys. This might be the last time we see Roman Reigns on this stage, for all we know. Brock Lesnar's retiring. Have they pushed enough of the current regime to actually make WrestleMania still this marketable after this year? I'm wondering.
What? Well, that's convenience because literally there's even people frustrated inside the company about the creative. Plus, with the freaking ticket prices and the freaking media sales, it's literally a little shit show from all fronts, creatively and business. It's literally that bad. Which is why, yeah, it's a big deal. It's just one thing after another.
The domino effect might be more playing that front.
Which is literally crazy enough. You know, you hear that during the Mania movie season. Usually you hear changes of plans or whatever, but that's just normal. This, this is wow.
The Mania is how much you have to spend to see it, and that's not including hotels, what you spend on travel, what you're spending on food, just to accommodate. And you try to do this by milking it by going to the same place twice. You screwed New Orleans over. You already know Vegas has low because of the economy and everything. Vegas has low tourism. You try to do that, then you fucking shoot yourself in the foot by blocking watch parties. Like, you're making it worse. Boy, Vegas was actually looking forward to WWE being there because it was going to bring more tourism, and now you're doing this and you're blocking it. I'm literally going to Vegas for those 10 days and seeing 11, maybe 12 independent things for a fraction of the price it would have been to see this night, to see one of the other nights.
About to say, it's one night, folks. Just put that in perspective. That's one night he's talking about.
Exactly. And it's only going to get worse when we go to next year and Saudi Mania.
It's literally going to be half empty seats again, all local people in fucking bathrobes. No offense, but like, I'm
the
sorry.
does not endorse that comment.
It was a joke. I was just trying to make people laugh. Don't come after me, friend.
You almost got Note over here to lose almost place flat down.
That's all you're gonna see. Literally, no outside people are gonna travel. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Like, I don't know. They're more worried about their bottom line and red and getting out of the red and making the red black in business talk. But you're shooting yourself in the foot by literally price gauging and outpricing the people that make this company work. It's the family, the children, the children that want to see their favorite superstar and cry and everything. And inevitably, no matter what the price is, somebody's gonna go. It's true. But if you keep doing this, you're gonna outprice every family, and literally, it's gonna be a sea of suit and tie people, corporate people, CEO people that are gonna be attending WWE that don't give a shit. All they want to do is show their face so that they can bring products to their own brand to try to sell something. It's all about selling rather than buying. Like, it's gonna get ridiculous, and I hope they turn it around before it hits them in the fucking wallet.
Well, considering the man literally said we're all about money, and literally what Vince's way doesn't work. Doesn't work anymore. So, family ticket price for families that doesn't work for us. So.
This is the definition of inflation, but it's only affecting a company, not the actual marketable value of $1, because it's one company that's right now doing it, price scrounging more than anything else I could think of. And again, I don't necessarily have a business degree nor follow the businesses on the stock market, but I think my 403B is more justifying how it's been built than what WWE's become since being part of TKO the last year alone. That being said, Ash, what do you think about this? I mean, there's got to be a point in business where you weigh your options. Maybe they're not looking domestically at the audience buying it. Maybe they are still looking internationally and globally to the audience to come in, because regardless, they could probably believe they're still going to buy off the global audience, but they may not think about the value of the American dollar just to get here for one, if not 2 nights, to enjoy this show for 3 or 5 hours. Do you think they're more so just relying on that business practice of reaching out to every Joe Smo from Kokomo in Morocco versus local Joe Smo outside Mexico? What do you think about all of this?
So about them blocking watch parties like at the venues, is that even legal?
I don't even know, but I guess you have licensing rights to the product. I would think so. I don't think it's right, though. But at the end of the day, if WWE owns the actual product they're marketing, then I think on the company's behalf, I would say yes.
Okay, because if it was illegal, then that's some shady ass business practices. Because
To be fair, this is WWE. How shady have they actually been?
true, I was just like, my thoughts on the matter about this is ridiculous. Vince McMahon is no longer in power, but at what cost?
That's the sentence right there, folks.
It's just, yeah, it's really sad to see like how like WWE's been corporate, but it's like really becoming corporate now, and it's really sad. It's concerning, especially for the people, especially for those in America. I'm not sure how this is going to affect Canada's ticket pricing. So
maybe you should look that up real quick just to humor it. For a one night, if not a combo pass, you might want to say "what the fuck" or say it in France.
Right, because I get wanting to go internationally because you're a worldwide entertainment company, but at the same time, you gotta also think locally as well. And it's just this is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the reviews right now. Someone was talking about how last year it was fun but costly. It was an awesome experience, but spent way too much money. Seats were good, but because it had not sold out, people were getting better deals to move in the same area than what we paid on the sale date. Dynamic pricing sucks. That seems about right.
Literally, everybody's gonna have to buy their ticket on April 13th for when is WrestleMania 14th? No, seriously, because they're gonna lower the price enough to try to get those last minute sales. And like, this is the thing, don't buy them ahead. You're gonna have to wait till like the day before. They're not gonna sell out at those ridiculous prices. They're gonna lower them.
You know, they want that section, right? They want to make sure they, pre-sale everything possible, right? And you know, you gotta consider Raw, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, WWE World, all that happening in the same week in courtesy of WWE.
I literally had to sell both my cars and put a lien on my house to fucking afford one night to WrestleMania. Like, seriously.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, again, is WWE worried about this right now? Because clearly there has to be some sense of urgency if they have multiple departments involved in this, trying to adapt new strategic practices to get the publicity out there to encourage people to buy into this two-night extravaganza, not for one night. And what would it mean for somebody to be on a hotel in Las Vegas Strip, just to be there with their buddies at the bar, can't go there live, they want to watch WrestleMania, and they learn all of a sudden that they can't?
You might as well stay in your hotel room and freaking put the ESPN app on there.
I suppose they can't block local devices. They aren't that powerful yet, I think. But still, if you're going there just to somehow embrace WrestleMania and experience it, not there live, but from somewhere, and you buy into standard because of that, and you find out you can't, WWE not only screwed the freaking customers or the fans, they literally screwed local businesses.
Dude, you're taking the fun out of it. I remember when we were like, you know, when I was like 18, 19, when we were in that big pay-per-view era, me and my friends, a bunch of us, we would like 10 of us at least would go to Hooters because they would always show every pay-per-view, and we would eat, and it was a hell of a lot cheaper than ordering the pay-per-view at home. It might be the same price, but with all the food and everything, and Hooters up the street, like, it's funny, but it was an experience. All the wrestling fans cheering, and it was almost like you were there at every pay-per-view live with everybody chanting and banging on the tables, and because everybody was there that night specifically for the pay-per-views, and that's how we used to watch UFC too back in the day. And actually, UFC used to encourage that, to go to bars. They used to put it on their website what bars would show it. So I don't know why they're turning around and now blocking people, but UFC literally used to tell you what bars will show the pay-per-views and things. They used to make deals with bars for that, to have that experience. And it seems like, I don't know, the entire economy, ever since the COVID area, it feels like everybody's been trying to recoup whatever they lost that year, and it's been going on since then. It's the pandemic. It screwed everything up, price gouging everything.
Yeah, and some places have recovered, and other places have yet to recover. We also got to consider this, gentleman and lady. This is the first WrestleMania they're doing since joining ESPN. This WrestleMania is exclusively in the States on the ESPN app, while you all still in Canada are fortunate enough to get it on Netflix. But still, this is going to be a major swing and swerve on a viewing experience for many people. Just saying. Nick, you're probably enjoying food or maybe getting some Z's in. Is there anything you want to say regarding this?
No, not really. I mean, like I said, like I think we've all said, you know, it sucks. They want guys. They want you to go, right? At the end of the day, it's business, right? It's all about that bottom dollar, right? So whatever they need to get it done, they'll do. So, but it's not surprising.
All right, fair enough. Well, folks, bottom line, business is booming or business deflating? WrestleMania 42. What will the aftermath look like despite every headline saying this is one of the biggest gates of all time, blah, blah, blah? Stay tuned.
And they're still going to figure out a way to inflate the numbers knowing they ain't selling all that.
Probably accurate. What do you got to say?
Let's be real here. Like, every number announcement is all inflated. It's just to make everything grandiose. It's just like no numbers are accurate, especially when it comes to attendance, because it's always going to be inflated to make it seem like the place is like so more grandiose than it is. It's a marketing ploy.
It is a
to
marketing
get people
ploy.
excited into the show, because say you didn't watch the show, people will be like, "Oh wow, that many people watched it. It must be good then."
Right? It's just one of those things. Hindsight's 2020. You judge the quality of something by your own personal review versus what you choose to read into. And that's really what's going to define you at the end of the day, whether or not you continue to buy into WWE for the pricing or literally for what they try to showcase in professional wrestling. Keyword try. All right, Charles, I saw you again. What you got to say real quick before we finally close the book on this business meeting?
Well, to Ash's point, because Ash asked that question about bars doing it or legal. Now, it is legal. It depends on the company themselves if they want to block it. It's legal overall. That's one. And the other, at this point, like I said earlier, this is going to be the norm. And the fact that the head of TKO said it bluntly, hell, in fact, they're not just doing WWE prices. And besides Walter didn't bring it up, they're doing the same stuff for the UFC events too.
Well, Walter already said he can't afford a UFC ticket. He would have to sell his house.
UFC's cost like $600-$700 for like nosebleed. It's ridiculous. Like if you go to New York to see John Jones fight, them tickets are like $9,500. They're fucking crazy.
That's beyond crazy.
It's literally now the norm for both companies under one roof.
Well, there you go. But at the end of the day, Dana White still has more money than WWE will ever have, considering what the UFC has been as legitimate combat fighting. But still, as long as they got them on their payroll, honestly, there's no way that WWE's ever going to go. Maybe, but as far as the WWE know, it might as well be dead in the water.
The only way to change this is to literally stop going. If everybody boycotted and they realize that nobody is attending live events and everybody's just watching on TV, you would force their hand. The biggest pain to hurt them in is to hurt them in their wallet. When they see fucking money flying out of the window, then they'll realize, oh shit, we better change our business. But the fact that everybody's just going to go out of some goddamn brand freaking loyalty to 3 fucking letters, then they're going to continue to do this. The people have the power. Like, I know it sounds funny, but and I'm not talking about Laurinaitis' fucking GM role, but you really do have the power. If everybody stops buying these fucking tickets and trying to go in person, watch how quick they change that shit.
My name is Mr. John Laurinaitis. Anyway, all right, moving on from there.
Damn it, Walter.
Criticize my error.
And also, damn it, I had to see that freaking man promoting a freaking autograph sign recently today. That was
Wait, time out. Did you just say you heard John Laurinaitis in an autograph signing recently?
he's literally promoting. Yeah, I saw the clip randomly. And he legit is doing that. His first ever signing.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of wish Walter did not have to bring that up because it literally popped in my head. It was like, God, why did you remind me of that?
Yeah, he's got a bright red suit with the blue tie and the white shirt.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god.
You know what? That's going to be probably the most emptiest line, like that one. Which wrestler was it that had that no people at all? Thank you, Virgil. I couldn't think of the name. It's probably going to be that.
Oh my god. Leave it.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if anyone sees it on their feed. Just saying.
Well, leave it to Walter to bring up people power. That being said, there's definitely people power here that could be in play, but whether it's international or domestic, it has to be worldwide. And Walter, that shit ain't gonna happen. And while we don't look at hard cam sides, there's still people on the camera feed. Even if there was only 25,000 people in that weird stadium they set up at the Royal Rumble where the lights was more noticeable than the people. Nonetheless, people keep coming, they keep selling, they keep going, prices keep rising. Internationally, by the way. Simple as that. That being said, bottom line, do what's best for your own personal business, and that's living, not engaging in WWE wrestling if you can't afford it. Some things aren't actually worth the price, folks. And at this point, WWE is questionable on that merit. No matter how much you love Roman Reigns or Rhea Ripley, it takes more than just a showcase of your favorite person that you have a freaking fantasy about for 10 minutes on your screen, more so doing talking than wrestling. Anyway, we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. We're going to cover it one way or another.
Bottom line, don't buy a WWE ticket, buy an AEW ticket.
All right, okay, hold on. First off, time out here. This is an intervention. Superman's going to remind you, don't disenfranchise or don't friggin', you just talk about 3 letters and brand loyalty. There's so much more, first and foremost, to pro wrestling than the big 2. Hey, TNA at this point might as well be a farm for WWE. I don't even know if I call it a big.
I'm just saying, if you want to see one of the big companies, I mean, the other 2, they're more family-friendly price.
All right.
Support your local indie.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. Thank you.
I like how Ash just took the word right out of my mouth.
But not every state you live in has a local indie. Not everywhere you go. So
true, but you can simply find an indie probably closer to you and see if you can engage with it. If you can, I mean, hell, AEW, Cleveland, Ohio, HOG, New York, Chicago, GCW, insert town here.
Right? Support your nearest or local indie. Like, if there's no one in your town, go to the one nearest to you and support them. Who knows? You might see some new favorites.
Inside Wrestling Revolution is where I found Shauna Reed and Camila at one time, and wrestlers like Jason Hodge and Trey Miguel. By the way, the promotion's owned by Rhino up in Michigan, of course. I've been there a couple of shows. Pretty fun. You can always expect someone going for a tour.
How funny.
Supporting the indies is how JJ and Jeff got into this and met half the TNA roster before it was TNA.
PWG.
Accurate. You were saying, Charles.
I was going to say it bluntly, but Thank you reminded me. I'm still waiting for DCW to go to next city, go to Detroit here because I'm going to go to one of those events and just to see how much craziness and also Matt Tremont live, and I'll be like, hey, James' favorite wrestler.
GCW doesn't go to Detroit?
As I'm aware of.
I think sometimes, if you're lucky, they go to Michigan, Ohio, primarily Columbus. I do think they go to Detroit sometimes, but also, Detroit, that's a whole different hot market of a mess right now between the casinos, but the updated downtown area. After that,
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
I know I can't wait to see Bloodsport in person. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll meet up in Ohio and go from there. We'll see what happens. Anyway. Business as usual for the Super Level Studios. Business right now in WWE, questionable. All right. Well, that being said, I think that about covers everything. Brodie King, Warner Bros. Discovery already dismissed it, folks. He was in Australia, all right? We're not getting political here. Support what you believe in, but also do it constructively and also be a better person. That's all I got to say about that.
He wasn't the only one. Like, half the roster left early.
Exactly. And people
it's
are
like a 20-hour flight, people. You're literally in a different time zone, a different continent, and it's like a different day. You could literally relive the same day twice if you leave at a certain time from Australia.
Look, I'll say that's about ice. Ice is nice in your drink if you want something cold, but sometimes ice can hurt you if you're not careful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I was gonna say to Walter's point, we really live in that. We teleport to a damn video game world at that point. That sounds like a video game sequence.
You know what? You're not wrong, and there's probably a reason why most people play Stardew Valley on a plane.
Or it'd be like AJ Styles, just have his entire game system carried with him on the plane.
It's also accurate. Nintendo
Hey,
Switch.
I was just gonna say the Switch is very, very.
I literally bought my first Switch because I was on a Greyhound bus, 6-hour trip to Columbus, Ohio, and I literally did nothing but play Mario Kart during it. I was racing while riding.
Hey, wait, so this is more conversation better than WWE business.
Yeah, well, I know how to use my time and money right, unlike some people. Not judging, just saying. The results are in themselves. Did you know that there are over 26 million Americans in America, and 93% of them earn their wealth not from inheritance, but from building a budget? Now you know.
Well, let's go on. Let's get continue now before this goes on with the rails.
Well, I mean, this is just a PSA about spend your money wisely and don't spend it on wrestling if it's not enough of a passion and the quality for you that justifies the price you're spending into.
To quote my dad, don't be spending money on stupid shit.
This is why AEW needs to come to Toronto and not Winnipeg.
You stop that!
Nick, you realize you're signing your warrant at that point, dude. You're in trouble.
How many times has AEW gone to Toronto?
Okay.
You had forbidden fucking door. You got to see New Japan wrestlers. So I don't want to hear any of the shit, Nick.
Whoa!
I like how you said off the rails, and then literally Nick decided I'm gonna seal my own fate right now.
I'm gonna trigger Ash just cause I can.
Yeah, for no reason. Would you not need to get on the bad side of Ash? Which is probably terrifying.
Well, apparently, Nick,
There it is. There it is.
God. Okay, look, bottom line. She's not wrong because that show had Bryan Danielson versus Shuja Okada and Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Enough said. And that ridiculous four-way with Katsuyori Shibata, Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia for the TNA International Championship, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus MJF. Not to mention, he had all out last year. But of course, WWE now owns the Scotiabank Arena, so that probably would never happen again. So, again, as Ash so eloquently said, before we dismiss this topic once and for all, Ash, please say that final simple announcement of wisdom one more time regarding money.
Don't be spending money on dumb shit.
Simple as that.
Walter looks like he's freaking moving back and forth, listening to probably a Low Vice theme song or something.
Well, I know that in other news, Low Vice is now one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champion alongside Mr. Iguana. And we now know two people have qualified for both the men's and the women's Elimination Chamber. The women, of course, have Tiffany Stratton and Mommy Rhea Ripley. Ugh, she's already has the championship.
Have we done there's a Dominic match versus Vikingo, and if Vikingo loses, he can never challenge for the AAA title again, ever.
Do you remember what I said earlier about WWE owning everything?
Mm-hmm.
I think I proved my point, Your Honor.
Look, I just want to keep seeing Mr. Guana show up every single time, and just Lieska. Just to, I'm still agreeing with JJ. We still need that freaking multi-person puppet match.
A puppet is not a competitor.
Sex dolls are competitors if you go to the right company.
No, you can't. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. That's a true fact. And also, we have the Invisible Man and Stan.
That's fair. And the Invisible Man is taking on Sam in his final match.
Which you lucky freaking
I get
Walter.
to see it in person too.
Walter, you and JJ are damn lucky for that. I'm let that be known. You're lucky.
Share bear with the Invisible Man.
share beer with the Invisible Man. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you gotta watch that freaking Invisible Stand match, and this Invisible Man versus Invisible Stand is still freaking great. You gotta watch that, Walter.
God.
It's free on YouTube. It's free on YouTube, to be fair, so you can literally find it right now.
And with that being said, spend your money wisely and invest in more of your professional wrestling fan than WWE if you want your wrestling fix at a family-friendly pricing. Thank you. And that being said, before we conclude the shenanigans after this commercial break, while the shenanigans are about to go off the rails, we'll just go around the horn in what I usually like to do in an open mic night segment where everyone will get to say their thing. And what the heck is this guy doing in the chat? All right, we got this just come in. We have, I don't believe this, breaking news, folks. Breaking news. And the breaking news is Matt Tremont got injured at GCW.
No! I tried to pull Darth Vader. It didn't work.
Well, that's a bummer.
Oh, man, what kind of injury? I hope he's okay.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm about to say, again, folks, it's not ballet. Even in practice, you can get injured. Ask Samoa Joe. Cascading Studios will keep you updated here as always. With that being said, on the other side of this commercial break, it will be time for our closing segment, last segment standing. We'll see if any of these yahoos have anything further to say regarding anything in all things wrestling. We will bid you all a fine adieu. So stay tuned. And also, JJ might update us as well. What?
You know, we forgot to mention Jade Cargill finally defended her title.
Did she actually move at normal speed and was it longer than 8 minutes?
She defended her title against Tiffany.
Well,
Rob.
Okay, that's a thing.
Also,
still the most relevant champion in WWE, but go ahead, Charles.
Sorry, it was Jordan Grace, not Tiffany.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to correct. No, wow, wonderful. Wow, we're botching the night. Love it. But I was gonna say at this point, I'm just gonna be honest here. I don't think Bianca's coming back at all at this point till after Mania.
Bro, she must have snapped her finger in like 5 places.
I think the surgery probably made they wanted to let it heal naturally, but it had to get surgery, so it's gotten worse than just yeah.
Well, considering how many bones are in the human hand, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. So at this point, I'm not expecting Bianca at all. So which means, well, what the hell does Jay do in Mania then?
Well, you can't have WrestleMania without EST, but I guess you still can have it without the EST. So there you go.
There you go.
Put the strap back on Tiffany. Simple as that. She never should have lost it. Jade Cargill is irrelevant.
In the chamber.
Well, she's in the chamber, so hopefully they can course correct. But that being said, let's go ahead and get the fuck out of here after this commercial break. Stay tuned, folks. We will keep you in tune regarding all things wrestling and what's to come here at Super Studios as well on the other side of this final commercial break.
And now for a taste of things to come.
That last graphic makes me cringe so much. And as always, here at the Super Studios, we truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, and react to Oh, the wrestling. And welcome back
Ow.
here to the Saturday Shenanigans. Walter Cruz, Ash, Charles Schultz, and Nick. Freaking hell. And also, again, ouch, fucking ouch. Before we conclude here, I just want to remind you a couple of programming notes. As you saw, the next time we cover New Japan Pro Wrestling, it will be for the New Begin that will take place in Trenton, New Jersey. Here is your full card. We have Siri challenging Athena, Siri defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Athena. Yoda Suri defending the Global Championship against Andrade El Idolo. Tomoyashi defending the Strawweight Championship against Bolton Ole. The Knockout Brothers defend the IWGP Tag Team Champions against the Demands. Gates of Agony, Bishop Conto, Leona. Buster and the Brain challenge El Desperado and Kushida. David Finley's final match in New Japan Pro Wrestling will be against Fred Rosser. And the Alpha Ganosi the Cash Cow will be taking on for the NWA World Television Championship El Phantasmo ELP, the Headbanger. So stay tuned for that, folks, along the watch along coverage here at the Simple Bible Studios. I've been calling these things solo, so we will see what happens. Also, a special programming note, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please get your tickets today. Follow at Ed in San Antonio for an affordable all-women's professional wrestling showcase. Here you see the Poda Mania card, including not limited to Brittany Brooks, Izzy Moreno, Gypsy Mac, Sasha McKenzie. Of course, we have Brittany Blake, the Poda Mania champion. We have, of course, Shotzi Blackheart, Rachel Leigh, the Princess of Perfection, Valentina Rossi, as well as so many others, including Miss Ladies Night herself, Jasmine Allure, and Blue Pants, Leva Bates, and Sue Young.
That's my wife's birthday, and I get to go see an all women's wrestling.
What a gift to you, brother. And again, folks, stay tuned for further content and coverage for both of these shows, as well as a further hype. I also want to give a special programming note, as, of course, Rachel Leigh, shout out to her. Follow her on the X. It was great having an interview with her literally 2 weeks ago. The interviews will continue, folks, as we will have Brittany Blake on February 21st, the Poda Mania champion as of right now. The ring announcer for Poda Mania, Heather Lynn, will follow February 28th. We also have Kaya McKenna, March 7th, as well as Jocelyn Navarro, March 21st. And, of course, following that, we also have, why is it in here twice? Our BFF, everyone's BFF, the definition of a young lady with a dream. She was 8 years old, forging her own story. Izzy Moreno, April 4th. All the way through to Ed in San Antonio, back here to promote Poda Mania and any further matches to come. So stay tuned for the coming weeks at the Saturday Shenanigans for all the coverage and the in-depth look into the incredible young rising female talent of the business that will be showcased during WrestleMania week, part of the GW Collective at Poda Mania. And also shout out to Nikki Blackheart and the Vicious Vicky, as well as others, getting a chance at a WWE recruit tryout. I wish them nothing but the best. At the end of the day, follow the workers, support the grind. Do not bring brand loyalty into your life. Don't be about the company. Be about those that truly define why we love pro wrestling. And that's the workers, damn it.
Support the wrestlers, not the brand.
Simple as that. All right. Well, that being said, you've all drove me nuts, but this has been a great 2-hour conversation. I believe we've covered everything. So I think without further ado, I will simply say on behalf of Simple Bible Studios, thank you to all of you. I hope Jada had an incredible time at GCW. If he comes up with further updates, then I will put them up. If no one else has super chats, open mic night will be closed. Let's go around the horn so we can get the heck out of here before the 3-hour mark. Freaking shorter than what Monday Night Raw used to be or what SmackDown's become. Ain't that some hot shit? Nick, always a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed the message, your Valentine's Day, and food. Where can the people try and connect and find you if they choose?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at the SRS Studio. Y'all can find me there.
Don't
But you
follow
can really-
him. It's creepy.
Don't follow. No.
This
No,
tagline.
no, you can follow me. It won't be that creepy. You can, I think my Twitter handle's Nick Beleaf 12. I think.
You think. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's probably it. Go follow me there.
All right, respect. Fair enough. Charles, always a pleasure. Thank you for being part. Again, as far as I'm concerned, you're a regular member of the family now. where can people connect with you?
I'm gonna not forget mine because apparently somehow Nick forgets his. Like, what the heck, Nick? Nick, you have too much food or something?
He's tired.
That too,
Forget
but
everything, dude. I got a memory of a goldfish.
well, that's a problem.
Nickelodeon. Oh.
They're not copyright. Continue.
Damn it, Walter. You can follow me on X at Random.
I suppose that. All right. Well, that being said, I don't know if Ash is still there or getting a hot drink or taking care of family or taking care of what she needs to. But
I'm still here.
there we go. All right. Well, as always, cheers to you, my Betty friend, as Nick, officially GTS. Go ahead and tell the people can find you and why they should not be a dickhead.
You can find me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, at ShadowBadAsh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Batty for Wrestling. Don't be a dickhead.
Dickhead. Again, you got a lot coming up on your channel. You were talking about your itinerary during the watch along. Why don't you remind people? And shout out to Daryl. Oh, by the way, Hiromu Takahashi is also no longer part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. All the best ticking time bomb who said, see you later.
This is a preview for what's coming up because I bought another one of these.
Is it the red one?
Yeah, Daryl's not going to be lonely no more.
Okay, you're like my friend Sienna Chanel. She's got both as well. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, be on the lookout for some New Japan content as well as some stuff for WrestleMania in March.
Well, look at you with WrestleMania stuff. This should be interesting. You're not going to try and cover every WrestleMania or review them, are you?
No, I'm going to be reviewing every Bret Hart title match.
Oh, okay. I like that. I look at the Canadian here.
I was about to
the all-time Canadian great.
I was about to say.
Hi, I'm Ash. I'm from Canada, and I have yet to see a Bret Hart match. WrestleMania 26 doesn't count. That wasn't a match.
Even though it was. Sorry, Ash.
I'm about to say, unfortunately. And yeah, basically to X point, Evil, yeah, I know. And David Finlay, they're all free agents right now. As Drew Maloney confirmed, he's staying in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
War Dragons, let's go!
Me and Ash can agree a lot about things, except for Evil. That's the only thing we'll never agree on.
I'm sure it's more than one.
Being honest with you, Ash.
Can you guys imagine if Finley signs with WWE and they go Balor versus Finley because they both were leaders of the Bullet Club, and it's like I was the better leader.
There's potential there. There's a potential there, considering David Finlay, 4 Savage Generations, the son of Fit Finlay. Not too far-fetched. And speaking of New Japan, stay tuned for our bracketology on the New Japan Cup. Here is your field. Pick your winner if you choose. Good luck to everybody. As of course, New Japan is all about tournaments, single elimination, round one tournaments. And Ash, here's the first one of the new year for you, the New Japan Cup 2026.
Be on the lookout for bracket breakdown when Noah and I review this together, just like we did last year, whenever that may be.
I'm gonna figure out a date. We got till March 4th. Of course, this will be after or before the anniversary show, so we got time.
We still got to do all the takeovers.
Well, you and I were going to take over February, but again, the timing wasn't there, but it does mean we can't try and take over in March. And again, folks, premium live watching events coming up, including not limited to Elimination Chamber for WWE, AEW Revolution, New Japan Pro Wrestling's The New Beginning, TNA Sacrifice. NXT still has no specials yet, which is really surprising. So
takeover can be our March Madness.
Hey, there you go.
I don't give a damn about basketball. I can buy into that.
I'll join you two for that.
Well, stay tuned, folks, because again, we're going to take over March with our own madness, representing the black and gold, the peak of professional wrestling as we knew it in WWE, covering all 36 takeovers. So stay tuned for more on that. Dude, you all can follow along via YouTube.
I mentioned Finley. Isn't his little brother in NXT? Shit.
He is, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. And straight up NXT. Go ahead, Charles.
The joke, I let a couple of Finley on screen to manage him.
I think he'd rather just obliterate people again, but we will see soon enough.
I got another question to ask. Because we know Hiromu's leaving. Is Hiromu still going to be in Japan, or because there was also another rumor going around that that Hiromu might be WWE bound? Do you think if he is, he and Finley could team together again?
Well, I mean, can they coexist would be the better question. But again, I wouldn't rule it out. But the last time they had a Japanese person in a jacket in NXT, they left him and did nothing with him. I don't remember what his name was.
I know New Japan. I know New Japan. You got you free agent. You got to in AEW because of that relationship. So I would explore that option before I try to go to the E.
Well, there's also other companies though in Japan. Hello, Pro Wrestling Noah, Naito.
Mm-hmm.
Naito and Bushi still GH Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, by the way. Los Tranquilos de Japón. And Hiromu Takahashi is the student of Tetsuya Naito. So again, hindsight's the 2020. And speaking of wrestling, again, to the only thing that I care about in NXT, Soruka, congratulations to her. She is the new number contender to the NXT Women's Championship and will challenge Jesse Jane for that title. Yes, Charles, I do see your hand.
Which I don't mind myself considering how the money you brought up the Chamber. The fact they're doing Becky and AJ Lee at the Chamber, which kind of surprises me.
Yep, for the Intercontinental Championship. They're not doing it at WrestleMania. They're pushing it. They're pushing Chicago's favorite couple in wrestling at the forefront of the Elimination Chamber. That's why CM Punk's defending the gold against Finn Balor.
Which I'm now considering to have AJ Lee being friends with Maxine and Natty being involved. I'm not going to be surprised if that IC title match at Mania is now for a fatal four-way between all four.
You took the words out of my mouth when they did the men as a fatal four-way last year. Go ahead, Ash.
I was about to say, yeah, I could see that happening because because all four of them are integrated in the storyline. And what better way to encapsulate or finish it off than the four-way at WrestleMania? And also, it's a nice way to get everyone on the card too, especially because they're in prominent roles as well.
True, and WWE loves to put everybody on WrestleMania, even if it's an underwhelming match. Again, War Bears and New Day should never happen.
Chelsea should have qualified to the Elimination Chamber, and I feel like she should have won, and it should have been Chelsea winning.
Well, I was going to say, if she would have qualified, it would have not mattered. But she probably would have taken out anyway because of the injury.
Unfortunately, she's legit injured, folks.
So her losing the qualifier, I agree with Walter, but considering injury that happened during that match, is it's probably, sort of good that she lost.
To quote my mom, she needs to get her title back.
Yes, she does. Thank you, by the
Chelsea needs the Chelsea title.
I think she should be the women's champion by now.
Yes. Charles doesn't know this. My mom, she's a big fan of Chelsea Green. She refuses to call the Women's United States title the Women's United States title. To her, it's the Chelsea title.
I keep forgetting that title exists every time Chelsea loses it, to be honest, because of literally...
They don't do jack shit with it with Julia.
Hence why it's called the Chelsea title.
And then again, they barely do anything with Chelsea as champion anyway. So it's really...
Hold on. We're trying to say goodbyes, and we keep going
we're
off
trying
the
to say
rails.
goodbye.
I know, exactly.
It's open mic night. We're just going to keep going. Last wrestler standing while Chelsea Green's in a wheelchair. The only interesting thing about the WWE Women's locker room on a weekly basis, not holding a championship, while Charlotte Flair might as well hold the SmackDown Women's Championship again at this point, because Jade Cargill is as cold as ice, and the crowd goes mild.
That's who we can put the title on. We can put Charlotte as the champ. I'm kidding.
I'm about to say, at this point, though, it sounds like Charlotte Flair might be going back after the title. And honestly, SmackDown needs a reset. You might as well go with the best player you got.
Nah, I expect this Charlotte Alexa match to happen at Mania.
Against the Bellas and Rico involved?
Nah, I'm going to be honest. I'm waiting for the turn. It's only a matter of when.
Let Alexa turn instead of Charlotte. That way, it'd be a little bit of a swerve.
It will be weird. It will be weird, but yeah, I expect the match to happen.
Here's what needs to happen at WrestleMania. Roman gets the title back and makes the secondary championship as the point as he did with WWE by being nothing but a part-timer, because that's WWE for you. I'm not speaking as a fan. I'm speaking as a businessman, because this is WWE. Jade Cargill no longer needs to be the women's world champion. They need to put somebody on there that actually draws tickets and draws attention. The name is Tiffany Stratton, in case you don't know. The Women's Intercontinental Championship, that fair four-way needs to happen because that makes perfect sense. Now, whether or not you leave Becky with the title, justifiably so, or you give AJ Lee her first piece of gold, that's entirely up to you. Judgment Day needs to fall apart. It needs to be Roxanne and Stephanie and Raquel and Liv, so we finally get no more Judgment Day. and Stephanie might be justified as champion at WrestleMania. But if they do a fair for the Continental Championship, do one for the World Championship, especially on the same night, definition of redundant. Does Liv and Stephanie call for a WrestleMania main event? No. And as far as the WWE Championship, if it's not Cody versus Fatu versus Drew, is Cody versus Drew justified for WrestleMania?
Oh.
Half the damn year last year.
For the 1100th time, no.
I'm surprised we didn't talk about Braun Breaker being injured now.
Because there's no point in talking about him because he's out of WrestleMania as far as we're concerned.
Yeah. And I think he's also been built. Yeah, let's get out of here, please.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Welcome, folks, to the after show. I hope you all enjoy it, but the timer's finally hit 0. We're getting the fuck home. Shout out to the Tilla. Follow her, Rangers of Wrestling. You see the social medias right there. James the fucking idiot does really cool and dumb things on the internet. Follow him at JHebertSide95. Pathetic nitwit. Again, you see the hashtags right there. I hope he's doing okay, though. We respect James. Always appreciate him. Shout out to Original Bob and Big G. Follow him on social medias. He is not an Aussie wannabe. He is far more relevant than Grayson Waller ever will be and doesn't need a phone to be so. So follow the original Big G as you see on the social medias right there. Ignore Jay, but do not ignore the regular wrestling JJ Williams. Follow him in the social medias. You see there are WJJ Williams, Kazing Studios, The Renegade, JJ Williams, etc., etc. And Walter, he's on screen, but you know what you gotta do because Tiffany has told you so. Get it? Got it? Bueno. Follow Rage of Wrestling, get him to 300 so he can kill his liver with the hot stuff alongside his wife. And a great tune, of course, as Simple Gaming will be coming back to the screens. It will be plugged in soon enough. Competitive gaming and rage quitting, courtesy of Walter Cruz. And of course, thank you to the super chat. Follow Emmanuel at Interactive Games and Movies on YouTube, but also follow him at Arlene Dominguez on the social medias, on the X, and on Instagram. As always, the MVPs of the Simple Labo Studios, and I thank them as always, even at the expense of my dignity. Still pissed off at them for that, as always. Jeff motherfucking Meacham is always on the call, the most magical place on earth, cast member on duty, but you can follow him as well, as of course his YouTube channel has been rebooted. So follow him if you can, the social medias as you see right there. Also a conjoining partner of the Greg Cherry brand and regular panelists on the No DQ review. Say yeah to No DQ. Aaron Riff, probably the only person you can trust with a report because he's not going to try and lie to you as he's just basically telling you what he sees. And if you wish to engage with me, I am the Simple Man of the Simple Brand, the voice of forever all things professional wrestling, damn it. You want me for Prediction Leagues? Find me at Fars Scene on the X and on YouTube, where I only wish to remind and encourage you on the winners, no losers, no betters, just fans love opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, full support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, no matter how much they annoy you, and just real life and enjoy professional wrestling too. It is truly as simple as that. Congratulations again to Lena Cross, who is now officially All Elite. I love this roster of big, powerful bitches in AEW.
I mean this in a good way, but don't cross that bitch.
That is accurate. But that being said, that's as simple as that. But that being said, that's pretty much everything that I have left to say regarding everything here at what the Simple Labo Studios does, who we are, and what we do. So I thank all of you for tuning in once again. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bells, video, live on demand on any of the channels here at the Simple Labo Studios. As always, hit the subscribe button. Keep growing the YouTube channels. I assure you, the content, the madness, the creativity, the passion, the absolute hilarity of Walter's puns, and the badness of Ash will not let up anytime soon. For Walter, for Nick, for JJ, for our Canadian friend Ash, for Charles, and for I am the Simple Man, giving you a simple, wicked sleek goodbye. Until next time, make a positive impact in life, and have a good night. And thank you for tuning in once again to another rousing edition of the Saturday Shenanigans. Have a good night, folks, and we'll see you next time here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Take care.
Chin up, tits out, and tango.
Oh, good God almighty. You and Tyler
still need